Okay, and away we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports. Make sure I'm nice and loud and clear so you can hear what I have to say. Okay, if you haven't subscribed already, as I always say, please hit the subscribe button. We appreciate your subscriptions. And for those people who have subscribed, thank you so much. Thank you to our new subscribers. Thank you to those subscribers that have been around for a long time. And if you've just joined us, thank you so much. If you've been around for a long time, thank you so much. Don't forget to join us on our Facebook page. A lot of you have joined. A lot more of you should be joining as well. BWTM Sports Group and BWTM Sports Channel. Check it out. For those of you who are gamers, check out our sports gaming channel, BWTM Gaming. Just type that into YouTube. You'll find us there. And those who want to know more about our news and entertainment channel, just BWTM. Right. So we got to start with some sad news first and foremost regarding the passing of Chelsea and England footballer Ray Wilkins, who passed away sadly yesterday. Yesterday he passed away. So just my condolences to the Wilkins family. And, he'll be missed by many, many people around the world. And thank you, Ray, for the contribution you brought to the sport of football. Rest in peace. Okay, so we have some talking to do. I was actually, to be fair, I was meant to be on. Yes, Mr. Eugene, do you want to come in the room now, or do you want to do a show tomorrow? I was actually not. I was on the gaming channel because I've got some catch up to do, build the affiliates for our Twitch channel. And I got a telephone call. And after that telephone call, I thought, you know what? Let me talk to you people and let me hear what you've got to say about this. Well, seems apparent that we're not going to see Joshua versus Wilder fight next. It seems more that we're going to see Joshua versus Miller, Big Baby Miller, and somewhere around August in America. Would make sense. Big Baby Miller's promoter is Eddie Hearn, and Hearn and obviously promotes Joshua as well. So that keeps everything in house. It's interesting because they say now Wilder's going to face Brazil and Dillian Whyte is going to fight Pulev. Now, at the moment, the person who gets the most raw deal in this, I think, at the moment, is Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte, he fought Lucas Brown for what I thought was a final eliminator to fight Deontay Wilder. Okay. So now he was sitting on the ring apron, shouting out, "Come on, Wilder, let's have Wilder, let's fight Wilder, let's fight Wilder, let's fight. Come on, Wilder, let's have it." For his promoter to damn well probably know that that wasn't going to happen anyway, and that Kubrat Pulev was waiting around the corner. So basically, another mandatory or another fighter that Joshua should have faced, Dillian Whyte's doing the clean-up work. He's got rid of Lucas Brown. He's now going to go and fight Kubrat Pulev in a fight that Pulev hasn't fought in over almost a year. He hasn't fought for over a year. The last fight he had was Kevin Johnson. I think the fight before that, I think he fought Derek Chisora. I think he fought Maurice Harris and George Harris. Fights in 2015, 2016, 2017. So Kubrat Pulev isn't active. So you've got to give, good evening, Jonathan, you've got to give Dillian Whyte the advantages in that fight, although Kubrat Pulev is technically the better boxer, technically. So Dillian Whyte gets a raw deal. Again, why doesn't Dillian Whyte go and fight for the WBA regular title? Why is he on to fight Kubrat Pulev? I'm surely Manuel Shah and Dillian Whyte would be a good fight to have. And, whereas everyone's talking about Dillian Whyte versus Anthony Joshua, really? Do people want to see Dillian Whyte versus Anthony Joshua, or do they want to fight Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder? They're the two fights people want to see Anthony Joshua in. They don't really want to see him in with Dillian Whyte again. So I don't understand whatsoever. I don't understand what that was all about. So anyway, so good luck to Dillian Whyte in the fight against Kubrat Pulev. Joshua fights Big Baby Miller. Big Baby Miller always comes into ring 260, 270, 280 pounds. Yes, Cameron, hope you're well. He always comes in big, heavy, and he's not the best boxer in the world, just tries to bully opponents. He's got Duhaupas who can box, got a good chin, Duhaupas can box. But I can see what will happen here. Big Baby Miller will try and lose weight to get himself ready to fight Anthony Joshua. I don't know if that's going to help him very much, because I don't think Big Baby Miller, when he's throwing punches, you look carefully, his head's down on the ground, and he's just windmilling punches over the top. At least people talk about Deontay Wilder windmilling. At least when he's windmilling, he's looking at you. This guy, Miller, you see him fight sometimes. He's got his head down, and he's throwing punches like that. He's looking down on the ground, he's throwing punches over the top. So that's what you got. That's who Joshua is probably going to be facing next in America. On his American debut, he's going to fight Big Baby Miller. So you have that there. But the most important news out of all this for me is Vladimir Klitschko. We know on April Fool's Day, April the 1st, Vladimir talked about coming back, and then said, I'm not coming back. Good evening, Mitchell, as well. There is talk, murmurs, rumors, conversations that Klitschko is coming back for real. It might all be rumors, like I've said, but not from what I've been hearing. Vladimir Klitschko saying that Joshua looked weak, that he looked vulnerable, that he didn't look that impressive against Josie Parker, that a lot of people expected Joshua to be more impressive against Josie Parker. A lot of people expected Joshua to blow Parker away based on what Parker did against Hughie Fury. They thought that Joshua would just walk through him. He didn't. They weren't impressed with the referee's work. So it's going to be very interesting to see now, from according to what I've heard, literally what I've been privy to in the last 20 minutes, which has inspired me to now do this video. It will be very interesting to see where Vladimir Klitschko comes back. And if he does come back, where does he come back? And one of these belts, I'm understanding, Joshua may be vacating. Now, when Joshua decides to vacate the belt, is it a potential that Vladimir Klitschko could be fighting for one of these belts? I mean, he had one real big fight with Joshua where he really got beaten up in. But really, he's a clean liver, Klitschko. Got outboxed by Tyson Fury. But they're the big men. There's a lot of guys in the heavyweight division he would still give a lot of problems to. I say this. If Vladimir Klitschko is thinking of making any form of comeback, Vladimir, I hope you're listening. If Vladimir Klitschko is decide to make any form of comeback, he needs to have Bashir in his corner. No disrespect to Jonathan Banks, but he needs an experienced trainer in his corner that's not going to allow him to get away with whatever and him be the trainer. He needs Bashir in his corner. He can't come back doing the same crap he's been doing before. You know what I mean? He went into the Joshua fight again, listened to the corner of his brother. Although his brother was a world-class, legendary fighter, you know, the advice that his brother gave him is not the advice someone like Emmanuel Stewart would have given him. Emmanuel Stewart, imagine Vladimir Klitschko had gone back to the corner when Joshua got dropped in that round. What would Manny would have said to him? Take it to him. Take it to him. Do you remember when he slapped Lennox Lewis for doing a lot less against Mike Tyson? So, and Lennox went out there and finished the job against Tyson. You saw Vladimir Klitschko when he fought Eddie Chambers. And then Emmanuel Stewart got in his ear, told him get up and get it out there, went out there and knocked Eddie Chambers out, I think it was with 3 left hooks. Knocked Chambers out flat. So you have to ask yourself the question, if Vladimir Klitschko coming back, then he really needs to ensure that if he comes back, he does things the right way. So another question is, if Vladimir were to come back, how does a fight between Vladimir Klitschko and Deontay Wilder go? How does that fight work out? And if Vladimir Klitschko is to come back, where does he go in your top 10? Do you put him straight in at number 10? Do you put him at number 5? Do you put him just below Joshua? Where would you rank Vladimir? Would he beat Wilder? There's some questions for you to think about. Mithy Swinbuckle says, I can understand Vlad coming back. He's got more power than Parker, though he doesn't have the chin. If he was to tweak his strategy from the first fight against AJ, he might stand a good chance. Klitschko is top 3. Well, there you go. So, you know, let's think about who's in the top 10 at the moment and think who Klitschko would fight. Okay, so Dillian Whyte, Vladimir Klitschko. Dillian Whyte, Joseph Parker. Dillian Whyte, Carlos Takam. Dillian Whyte. Klitschko versus Takam. Klitschko versus Whyte. Klitschko versus... God. Dare I say it, Klitschko versus Tony Bellew or David Hay. We don't want to see that again, do we? You know, maybe even Klitschko may want a rematch against Tyson Fury. You know, Tyson's been out of the ring for so long. Klitschko making a comeback. Klitschko-Tyson rematch for the IBF title. Think about that. How ironic would that be that Tyson Fury would have to come back and fight Vladimir Klitschko a second time for a world heavyweight title? Klitschko beats most of the top 10 already. Povetkin, Pulev. There you go, Cameron. So, you just, I don't want to see Vladimir coming back every 2 years and getting his ass whooped. Just retire again. Luke Hendon says, Vlad ain't coming back. It was April's Fools. It didn't sound like April's Fools half an hour ago to me. Did not sound like April's Fool to me half an hour ago. Fortunately, I'm fortunate to be in a position where I can get to hear other conversations outside of Twitter. Hey, LOL, my kingdom for a toe, LOL. The Klitschko that lost to Joshua would beat everyone else in the division. All depends on if he had another performance like that in the tank. How sure are you AJ's vacating? I don't know. I've just heard the story that at some point AJ will vacate. That's what I've heard. And if that is the case, it would be interesting because then that opens up the heavyweight division all over again. Vlad will be back. Vlad has the itch and can fight at world level, says Morgan. Well, there you go. So where does a Vladimir Klitschko fit in the heavyweight division? And which sanctioning body will take him on? And where would the sanctioning body rate Vladimir Klitschko? That would upset. That would put the division again in a right mess. Vladimir Klitschko being back. Look at all those guys in the division there. Let me look at the top 10 world rating at the moment of the top 10. The one belt that Vladimir never fought for was the WBC belt, right? He never got that WBC belt. Let me just do yeah, the WBC belt is what he never fought for, Vladimir Klitschko. I want to look at the WBA ranking a second because that regular title, I can't believe what's going on at regular title at the moment. Okay, WBA ranking at the moment, the number one contender for a WBA title is Alexander Povetkin, then Fraser Quendo, then Jarrell Miller, Kubrat Pulev, Trevor Bryan, BJ. How the hell is BJ Flores in the top 10? But BJ Flores is in the top 10, but Tony Bellew is not in the top 10. Duhaupas is 7, Dillian Whyte is 8. How the hell is Fraser Quendo ranked higher than Dillian Whyte? How is BJ Flores ranked higher than Dillian Whyte. How is Trevor Bryan ranked higher than Dillian Whyte? Don't get it. Guillermo Jones is ranked 11 by the WBA. Jennings 13. It don't make no sense to me. Doesn't make no sense whatsoever to me, the WBA rankings. Price for a comeback fight. Char versus Quindala. I know this is controversial, but I think that Vlad has the biggest one-punch power in the heavyweight division. I guess I could argue that and say Deontay Wilder's got the biggest punch. He's knocked everybody out. And everybody's knocked out. He would not fight his brother. BJ Flores isn't a top 30 heavyweight. Great point there, Cameron. Flores gave someone a BJ to get a top 10. I would like to see Price beat Povetkin, then welcome back Fury. Do you think Price is done after that brutal KO? Spoke about it last night. Who knows? Mem rankings. LOL. Do you think AJ will have Eddie when his contract ends? I think I talked about this before. I said, why wouldn't he? Lennox right hand was harder. Really? Lennox didn't knock out Holyfield. He didn't knock out Holyfield, but James Toney knocked out Holyfield. I don't know. You tell me. They didn't even knock down Holyfield. Michael Moore hurt Evander Holyfield more than Lennox did. Klitschko fights Price in the comeback fight, and Price knocks him out and proves Belly right all along about being the new hit to the throne. LOL. Vlad has stopped more and at a higher level, I would say. I would love to see Vladimir Klitschko versus Luis Ortiz, actually. I'd like to have seen that. That would have been an interesting fight to see. And yeah, where does Luis Ortiz fit in this picture, by the way? Is he done for? Is he finished? Does he come back? Where does he fit in the picture? Where does he fit in the picture? Just questions to be asked. But yeah, really, that was it. Joshua versus Miller. That looks like it's going to happen in August. Pulev versus Whyte. Well, the longer Whyte leaves that for to fight Pulev, the better for him. Because Pulev hasn't fought for a year. And of course, Vladimir Klitschko making his comeback. And of course, the last one is Dominic Brazil fighting Deontay Wilder. That sounds like that's the fight that's going to happen. So that's an interesting fight. Vlad is number 1, 2. TBE though. Price gets the winner of Hey Belland. Ortiz versus Parker. Ortiz is the gatekeeper to Joshua. Or how do you work that one out? Vitali's team term as May of Kiev ends next year. Just saying. Oh dear. Oh dear. Ortiz is already moving after this, moving into a retirement home. Price got to leave it alone. Ortiz versus Price, I believe Price that the sink he fitted me was excellent. Vlad making a comeback, says who? LOL. Shake my head. Blood boxing returns. Yes, brother. How you doing, Blood? Long time no speak. What's going on? Yes. So I just got off the phone to somebody, and that individual was giving me the lowdown on how Vladimir Klitschko was feeling, and what was being said in camp. So, you know, Ortiz and Rigondeaux sitting up one, seeing us they're both approaching 60. A shocking management of Wilder. Fight Dominic. AJ beat him ages ago. Easy. I know. Price could drop down and clean up the cruiserweight or move to MMA. You guys are funny. You guys are seriously funny. But on a serious note, so Wilder fights Brazil, but Wilder wants to fight Joshua. I don't think you heard what Eddie Hearn was saying, yeah? You heard what Eddie Hearn was saying before. He said after they fight Parker, if they win, then they'll fight Miller next. It seems like that's going to happen. But there's a few things to have a think about. It's interesting now. Parker's talking about being on the undercard of Joshua's next fight. Isn't that interesting? Back in the UK. The other thing that I found quite interesting is, was it me, or did Joseph Parker fight like a man that was just happy to fight to get to 12 rounds? Did he fight like a guy who truly believed he could be heavyweight champion of the world, unified? Or was he just happy to box and not get knocked out? Because it seemed to me, in the 12th round, he didn't have any sort of ambition to try and beat Joshua. And it seemed to me in that fight, there was a lot of, a lot of friendliness going on there for somebody who said he was going to do this and he was going to do that to Parker. It didn't seem like it to me. Hearn keeps putting Whyte in front of guys that want Joshua. Wilder now Povetkin. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And didn't I say a while back that I thought that Whyte should move away from his current promoter? That is interesting. It's crazy. AJ fighting Miller ahead of Wilder. Wilder should be fighting Miller. They got beef as well. Yeah, but isn't that one of the reasons you think maybe Eddie has signed Miller? Who knows? I think Joshua showed in the last fight, feet are in concrete, had no real skills, one-trick pony. Ref suited AJ to the ground. If Wilder kills AJ, I'm not a real big Wilder fan. At Euroboxing News. Great to see you in the room, Euroboxing News. The thing is, do you actually think Anthony Joshua is getting better than Robert McCracken? That's the question. Does he get any better? It seems to me he seems to be very effective on the front foot, but when you put him on the back foot and you give him a bit of movement, there seems to be, there seems to be some problems there. Parker was, let's see what people are saying now. Parker was happy in the post-fight interview. He said he lost to a better champion. He didn't seem bothered at all. Yeah, would you be bothered having X amount of million given to you afterwards, knowing that your family's secure for the rest of your life, and you fight in the future? You didn't get knocked out by Anthony Joshua, and now you can go on and fight under Anthony Joshua's undercard and get paid lots more money. Why would you be bothered? Parker's a wooden top, not fit to spar the Furious One. Money Man says neither one of them did shit. They were playing tag. That's the thing. It was quite interesting as well. You say that. David A showed no ambition to beat Vlad in round 12. Yeah, well, he had a problem with his toe, didn't he? P.S. Missed your interviews with Furies. Well, you obviously haven't been on the channel recently. Peter Fury interview, Huey Fury interview, Huey Fury interview, Peter Fury interview. What else now? Behind the scenes with Team Fury and the whole of Team Fury, part 1 and part 2 documentary, the mini doc. What more do you want? Dillian is on a fight-by-fight deal with Hearn, so he can leave anytime. Yeah, that's interesting. LOL, ref was a joke. I think the ref took Parker's chances away. Every time he got close, it got broken up. Would have been more entertaining fight with a different ref. I agree. That was like when Hatton fought Mayweather. Not saying he'd beaten Mayweather. Every time Hatton tried to get close to do Unity, the referee was there. AJ defense has got better? No, absolutely not. Blood box return. Miller didn't do anything to get a shot at LOL. AJ needs a big performance to enhance his popularity to America. Agree with you there, blood boxing. But the one thing I don't like seeing a fighter is lack of discipline. And Jarrell Miller, he's not a guy that I consider a guy that takes a sport seriously. You look at the way he's way overweight when he comes into fight. And if he decides to lose a whole heap of weight to fight Joshua, you know what's going to happen there. So, again, and any guy who's putting his head down on the ground, throwing punches over the top, not looking at the target, is something. I'm not a big baby. He talks well. He's very charismatic, but whether he'll actually be any good, I don't know. I can't see him being an undisputed champion, that's for sure. I just don't think he's that good, personally. But I think he's very charismatic. Parker was robbed by UK ref. Miller has some decent wins, to be honest. Washington and Whack are good ones. Well, Washington No disrespect to Washington, but you know how he fights. I told you how he fights. Washington fights okay for 4 rounds, then he starts backing up against the ropes, runs out of steam like a computer game. He's all right for 4 rounds, then he starts backing up to the ropes, and then you can nail him because he's got no defense. That's exactly what Deontay Wilder did. Washington fights the same in every fight. And what's the other one? Whack. Well, when was the last time Whack actually fought apart from that fight? Whack's all right. Got a good chin. He's got good boxing ability. And I've met Whack. He's a huge guy. But his best days are way behind him. Do you think who he plays with Sexton? Yes. I think he actually knocked Sexton out quite brutally. Last one for me, dude. Why are all these people jumping on the Miller bandwagon? He's an unproven road sweeper. Aha. Well, I won't call him a road sweeper. That's a bit harsh. But it's charismatic, isn't it? He's charismatic. And people are desperate to have a heavyweight champion of the world that people can respect, and people are dying for some sort of dominant force. People are dying for a Mike Tyson who knocks everybody out. They've got that in a Deontay Wilder, but they're not happy with that. People, I don't know, the era we've got today of boxing, I don't understand it. You want knockouts? You love Mike Tyson because of his knockouts. Okay, Mike Tyson wasn't the greatest fighter in the world. In fact, who was Mike Tyson's best win against? I mean, you know, he was considered the baddest man on the planet. But I always ask people the question, if he was the baddest man on the planet, who did Mike Tyson beat who was considered the baddest man on the planet at the time? So, you know, Mike Tyson never got off the deck to win a fight. Mike Tyson was a good fighter, but very overrated. What did Mike a lot of favors and did Mike very well is the promotional team behind him. I'm not saying Mike couldn't fight, because Mike could fight. And he was durable. And he took his licks and his bumps and all the rest of it. But Mike was well promoted. And even you go back and look at the documentaries with Bill Caton. They said, listen, we're gonna get this guy fighting as regular as possible. It don't matter who it is. The name doesn't matter. All we want to portray to the viewers is this guy knocking people out left, right, and center. And in a way, they kind of did a sort of similar thing with Deontay Wilder, apart from it didn't go the same way. Because Wilder got knocked down and he fought some guys that were horrendous. And when you look at Wilder, when he first started his career, his technique was horrendous. So if people say Wilder's technique is horrendous now, look at what it was when he first started his career. I think Wilder's come on a bomb, to be honest. And I think that in terms of Wilder as a fighter, look at him as a guy that hits extremely hard, like a video game. I've said it before, like a video game. You get a video game and you're playing Street Fighter or, I don't know, Mortal Kombat or Injustice 2 or Injustice. You know, each character has their speciality. In the case of boxing with Deontay Wilder, if you had a video game, his speciality is a big right hand. And you can't knock an unbeaten record. You can say what you want about it. The guy fought the bogeyman in the division that nobody wanted to fight, who was considered the best heavyweight in the world, and he knocked him out. Yes, it was competitive. Yes, he gave Wilder problems, but the fight was stopped. Didn't need the referee to come in and stop the fight, or the referee to try and stop a fighter, tack him. Didn't happen. Wilder did the business with his 2 fists. You got to respect a man like that. Please tell Team Fury to stop deadlifting with rounded backs. It's a one-way ticket to Snap City. Yeah, I think they've read the comments. Wilder beats Pulev. Whyte beats Pulev easy. Easy? I don't know about easy. He beats him. Pulev is the far better boxer out of the two. Pulev had the amateur pedigree. Whyte didn't. So Pulev's a good boxer. Got good movement as well, Pulev. Miller throws too many arm punches as well. No idea. He has so many knockouts. Because he's heavy. Miller versus Cheeseburger would be a good contest. Yes, I found Fury videos. Sorry, man. What was this big announcement? Tyson Fury. Anyone know? I don't know. Would Miller beat Whyte? That's a good fight. Miller is a born fighter. Whack injured right hand versus Miller. He didn't punch. AJ fans keep talking about Whyte versus Wilder. Wilder said, okay, put AJ on the backside of the deal, but AJ fans ignore the fact Eddie doesn't want to make the fight. No, he doesn't want to make the fight. Of course he doesn't. Of course he doesn't. Because when AJ gets defeated, if Wilder beats AJ now, what happens to where the matchroom go? Who's the next pay-per-view star that can come close to him? They got such a great promotional outfit. After AJ, who matches pay-per-view numbers like AJ? Kell Brook? Yeah, all right. Don't rate Miller too highly myself. I think there are better fighters out there. Ortiz, Parker, Whyte, Brazil, etc. But Miller is undefeated. The faster AJ and Wilder meet for me, the better. Lennox Lewis, very underrated. Mike's no Lennox. Mike Tyson isn't a top 10 heavyweight of all time. No, he's not. The improvement of Wilder from the Harrison fight now is very big. That's why I agree with that totally. Miller is shit. Don't rate him at all. Never will. Won't be world champion. I wouldn't say that. Any of these heavyweights today can be world champion. Lose Ortiz out for 3 years and 50 years old. Ortiz was probably 15 years his senior. Listen, don't say, listen. Give the man his credit and his due. If Ortiz was so shit and so crap, why didn't Joshua fight him? If Ortiz was so crap, why wasn't everyone calling out Ortiz's name? If Ortiz was so crap, why was he number one contender but never got a shot at the title? Nobody wanted to fight Luis Ortiz. Don't discredit the man. I don't care. Don't bring the thing about age. A lot of you didn't even know about the age situation until it was broken by, what's his name? Amir Mansour on our channel. Right? Amir Mansour broke it down on this channel. And then it got out into the media. So before that time, nobody was talking about Luis Ortiz's age. Because a lot of people were looking at Luis Ortiz's age via the box rate. So don't bring the whole Luis Ortiz age thing up now. The guy was talented. A lot of you dudes on here now are talking about running down Luis Ortiz. Were the same dudes that will argue with me and saying to me, the Luis Ortiz fight should happen. When I was saying to you guys about Wilder fighting Luis Ortiz, the fight shouldn't be happening because Ortiz is going to get wiped out by Wilder. And it happened. But you're wanting the Ortiz fight. Now you're backtracking afterwards and saying Ortiz wasn't that good because Wilder took him apart. Come on, man. You know, that means there's no fight you're going to give credit to. Because every time a fighter beats up, like every time a guy beats somebody, you're going to say, well, he's not very good, or he's too old, or he wasn't good enough. Luis Ortiz was a very good fighter. Very good fighter. Still is a very good fighter. And we beat most heavyweights out there today. None of you Joshua fans would have been in a rush to put Ortiz in there with Joshua before Wilder fought him. So I don't want to hear any crap about Luis Ortiz being old. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. That's absolute garbage because beforehand there was a big rush for these people for Ortiz to fight Wilder. And now Wilder wipes him out. He's old. No, I don't want to hear it. That's just discrediting the man. We just discredit. Well, in that case, if you're going to discredit Ortiz, then discredit Vladimir Klitschko for being an old man who wasn't doing anything for 2 years and already been beaten by Tyson Fury. And he was old then when Tyson Fury fought him. So if you want to discredit someone, if you're going to discredit Wilder, then discredit Klitschko as well. Because that is the fight that's made Joshua a superstar, the Klitschko fight. To discredit Wilder and Ortiz fight, then discredit Joshua and Klitschko fight. And be fair, then neither of them should be superstars. That is as fair can be there, I think. Miller and to be honest, Wilder, Ortiz had never been beaten. He'd never been beaten. Whereas Klitschko had been knocked out. There's nothing Joshua did to Klitschko that hadn't been done before. Lamont Brewster knocked him out. Corey Sanders knocked him out in 2 rounds. Corey Sanders didn't get knocked down by Klitschko. Tyson Fury didn't get knocked down by Klitschko. Lamont Brewster beat Klitschko coming and going. So, Ross Pulev knocked out Vladimir Klitschko. So what's so spectacular about what Joshua did? Oh, the way he did it. What about the way Corey Sanders did it? Or the way Lamont Brewster did it when he was much younger and more active? Maybe jumping up and down about that. You know, but if you want to listen to what the media say, well, go ahead. But, you know, don't sit here and tell me about Ortiz as being an old man, and because you've got to do it both ways. Pulev would have caused Joshua problems. Dillian Whyte ducked Miller. Pulev had 3 fights in 4 years. Okay, that was another Klitschko opponent, by the way. Ortiz younger than Klitschko, though. Okay, considering most of these opponents were bigger than him and the ferocious way he dealt with these gents, Tyson was definitely not overrated. Okay, fair enough. I know Whyte is 7 years younger. He beats Pulev. The Fury management announcement is that he will be back in June on the Flanagan Hooker rescheduled card. Okay, 9th or the 23rd. I think Miller pressures and outworks his opponents. Yeah, but what boxers right now even get pay-per-view right now? Good point. Matchroom 2.0 didn't start with pay-per-view. Fraud Lee and Hay aside, they were built without pay-per-view. Joshua was fighting champions, not Ortiz. AJ ducked Ortiz. Who fight gets the ring belt next, Wilder or Joshua? We all have eyes, man. I don't rate AJ or Wilder, to be honest, but AJ would demolish Ortiz. Ortiz was on jugs when he fought other boxers and wasn't when he fought Wilder. Stop talking nonsense. Right, okay. And of course, Eric, you know that. You know that Ortiz wasn't on drugs when he fought Wilder. Okay. Who was Mike Tyson's best win? You ask. Who was Holyfield's? A washed-up Tyson that had been active for 4 years. Well, he beat Muhammad Kawi to become cruiserweight champion of the world. He beat Buster Douglas, who was the man that beat Mike Tyson. He beat George Foreman, who then went on to beat Michael Moorer. Michael Moorer, who had beaten Holyfield as well. Michael Moorer was a 2-3-time heavyweight champion of the world. Who else did Holyfield beat? Holyfield beat quite a few fighters. Larry Holmes, the same Larry Holmes that Mike Tyson beat. And the same Larry Holmes that came back and schooled Ray Mercer. The same Ray Mercer that almost beat Lennox Lewis. Holyfield beat a lot of good fighters. Tyson beat 3 defending champions to unify, then cleaned out the top 10 in quick succession. Can you explain why Wilder had a 30-second break when he got rocked in the middle of the round? Hey, listen, I mentioned that, but can you explain why the referee decided to stop the fight, the Takam fight with Joshua? Can you explain that to me as well, when Takam wasn't hurt? AJ gets credit for Vlad, but let's not pretend he beat prime fresh Vlad. I agree. Same with Deontay. Ortiz was clearly fighting on Oleg's, but even this was enough to outbox the tall man for 10 rounds. Nobody's saying Wilder is a tremendous boxer. He's a tremendous puncher. Let's get something right. Don't, on one hand, say the man's got poor boxing fundamentals, but on the other hand, say, oh, he was being outboxed. Wilder's no boxer. He's just a puncher. That's it. He ain't no boxer. He's a puncher. That is it. The old man, Klitschko, knocked Wilder out cold twice. And who told you that? How can you even compare Ortiz to Klitschko? I'm talking about old Klitschko and old Ortiz in age. That's how I can compare them. Ingram, do you remember years ago on a Beats Hangout, you said you would take Jennings over Wilder? This is back when they were both prospects. Do you feel Bryant is a wasted talent? No, I think Bryant's going to come back and do well. I think he's now learned about the sport. He had a deal with Jay-Z, and I believe that deal with Jay-Z split. And he rushed back with the Ortiz fight after he lost to Klitschko. If you go and listen to the interview, he's got Joey DeWaco next to be fighting him. He's going to take his time back up in the heavyweight division. I think he's still going to be a force in the division. You think a hyped up Cuban can dance a little, is a good overall boxer? Oh dear. Klitschko world champion for a decade. Yes, he was a Klitschko. AJ had a bigger challenge fighting Vlad than Wilder fighting Ortiz. You're seriously delusionally thinking that. Okay, fair enough. My opinion is if Ortiz Klitschko were 2 years younger, they would have won. You're the first UK channel I heard keeping it real about AJ Ortiz. I'm subbing. Thank you. Age is really the reason. Inactivity is. Biholt was 48-49 when he fought Pulev. I went the distance, but got blown out of the ring after 2 years later by a less skilled opponent than Kovalev. Agreed. And I all said on this same channel, I said to you all when Ortiz was preparing to fight Wilder and he fought Danny Myers, I said that is not preparation to fight Deontay Wilder. He's going to come on stuck against Deontay Wilder, and sure and behold, it happens. Holyfield beat a lot of good fighters, but come on, what was his best one? You know it was Tyson, but you say Tyson wasn't a top 10 great. No, you know it wasn't a top 10 great. What defines a great fighter? He beat some good fighters, but he didn't beat great fighters, Tyson. He got beat by Holyfield, he got beat by Lennox Lewis, he got beat by Buster Douglas. For whatever the reasons may be, he got beat by them. When AJ stopped Vlad, most punches weren't even landing. Ref help. Bryant is a waste of time. Oh, I'm not going to say that. If AJ loses cool, he will KO Wilder, but it will have to be at his very best. Can you call Abel and see what's happening with GGG? A spike fight would be ridiculous. I've said this already, and I've tried to call Abel a few times, and I will try again. Wouldn't it be great if we could get Abel Sanchez on the phone now? I've been trying to call Abel for the longest. Let's see if we can get him on the line. It'd be good if we get hold of him now, wouldn't it? Give me a second. Okay, well, I just spoke to Abel Sanchez. He's in the gym. He says, call him back in 2 hours. Jennings is too small, Ingram. No, he's not too small. Jennings is 6'3". He's not too small. I don't believe that. He's not too small. Who's the best head-to-head heavyweight of all time? Ingram. Well, people say Tyson Ali would have been a great fight. I watched a video the other day, a very interesting video. It was Customato, Muhammad Ali facing off. If you can get it on YouTube, it's absolutely amazing. It was his trainer, Customato, talking. Was it Customato? No, it wasn't Customato. Was it Customato? No, who was it? Maybe it was. Maybe it was. I'm not sure. But it was his trainer talking to him. No, it wasn't Customato. And was it? Maybe it was. And he was talking to Ali, and Ali turned around and said, "I'd beat Joe Louis." Joe Louis got slow feet and slow hands. It was Ali was breaking down his fight of what would happen if he fought Joe Louis. He said he's got too slow feet. His feet were too slow. He said that he's too slow, moves like a mummy. But you know what? I'll say something quite controversial here. Ali versus Sonny Liston. There's always been controversy about that fight, the second fight. People say that Sonny Liston threw the fight. People say he was pressured by the mafia. There's all sorts of different stories about why Sonny Liston went over against Ali, the Phantom Punch, that he basically threw those fights because he was getting pressure from external forces. I don't know how true that was, but it'd be interesting to see what you people out there think about this. Why did I call that Vlad? Why didn't he want his brother belt? You can box Wilder, but he isn't, and he is going to land a right within 46 minutes, and they Vlad and AJ don't want it. Between Vitaly and Lennox for me, Lennox would beat Vitaly. A prime Lennox Lewis beats Vitaly all day, every day. It won't be easy, but I think he beats Vitaly. I think Lennox Lewis is probably more complete than most of the heavyweights that were around that time. He's bigger. I would love to see Ali and Lewis fight, but Lewis always struggled with a person who had a good jab. So I'd like to see Ali and Lewis. That would have been an interesting fight. Who's the best British boxer ever? All weights through the ages. BWTM. Best British boxer ever. That's a tough one. Ever. Dang. You talk about history. I don't know. That's a tough one. I have to come back to you about that one. Wilder made excuses not to face Vlad, like Vlad has to come to USA and other excuses, Jay. Joe Kazaki, obviously, LOL. No, about that. No, none beats Vitaly. Only his own body defeats him, LOL. Well, I think Vitaly, when he fought Lennox at the end of his career, where Lennox, when Lennox fought Vitaly, and one day I'll get the whole rundown about that particular fight. But Lennox was meant to fight Kirk Johnson, right? He was meant to fight Kirk Johnson. Kirk Johnson pulled out for whatever reason. Lennox wasn't in great shape to fight Kirk Johnson. He thought he was going to blow Kirk Johnson away. He said, you know what? Give me a Klitschko. I'll fight Klitschko. And he went and fought Vitaly. And, of course, he wasn't in the shape he should have been in. So when Lennox was at the end of his career, beating Mike Tyson. So, I'd like to see prime Lennox fight Vitaly. Vlad is on video after Wilder called him out, and he needed to build his profile even though he fought many no-name fighters. The Ali video was with Customada, so I was right. Didn't Vlad knock out Wilder out cold and had to call the ambulance twice in sparring? I don't know about that bit, but we were the first to get the interview with James Ali Bashir. That's where the story came from, and that story came out in 2013. RTU was in that camp at the same time. In that camp that Wilder got dropped in, I also believe that around that time, Joshua and Whyte were in camp together, and Bashir had to calm Whyte and Joshua down because they had beef then. And they were both sparring partners. I think they were used as sparring partners, Whyte, with Klitschko. I'm sure they were. Yeah, they were sparring partners with Klitschko or something like that. They were in Klitschko camp. And Richard Towers was in sparring as well. So it was Richard Towers, Deontay Wilder, and James Ali Bashir were watching all this. Check out the video. It's on the channel. Was Vitaly hyped back then? I'm too young to know. No, I don't think he was hyped. He was a good fighter. He had a tremendous right hand. Awkward style, wasn't easy to hit, and great chin. I tell you, a good fight to watch. If you ever want to sit down and watch a good fight, go watch Vitaly Klitschko against Corey Sanders. That was a good fight. Was there rumors Hay banged out Wilder in sparring? No, I heard rumors it was Wilder that had banged out Hay in sparring and gave him concussion. That's why he pulled out the fight with Fury. Don't know how true that is. Do you think Lennox hurt his resume standing, not giving Vitaly the rematch? No, he was a smart man. He didn't have anything else to offer. Carl Froch has been considered one of Britain's all-time greats. Really? All-time greats? Good fighter. All-time great? That... He was never undisputed champion. That's the first thing. The second thing, Carl Froch was never the number one super middleweight in the world, ever. He was always considered number two to Andre Ward. So, at least Calzaghe was considered the number one super middleweight in the world. So, you know, and he went to America and he fought Jones and Hopkins. He still got those names on his resume. Froch doesn't in that sense. He got Andre Ward and he got beat by Andre Ward. So, I don't know. Hate team edit the video. Hate said Wilder did his thing. Yeah. Also, Helenius knocked out Vlad. Don't you know all rumors are true? Hey, not hate. Lennox might have hurt his legacy, but saved his face. Yeah, I agree with that one there. Yeah. Yeah. So, I think I've kind of covered what I wanted to say tonight, just to talk about a Klitschko return. I'm sure if Wilder had hurt Hay in sparring, we would have heard something of it. However, I've seen Hay landed some big shots of Wilder on the ropes. That was well edited. And if you go back, track back in time, not on this channel, but on my main channel, the BWTM channel, I had broken down why the first fight wasn't going to happen and the second fight wasn't going to happen. And lo and behold, both fights didn't happen for Tyson Fury. Froch lost to Durrell, got a gift, was getting punched by Groves in the first fight, schooled by Ward, lost to Kessler, blamed it on Ashcloud, then retired, ducking GGG. Jimmy Wild is number one in many all-time great lists, a 7-year world champion with 99 KOs, only lost in last two fights, a flyweight from Wales, just read that on Google. Wow. That's something for the history books. Hayes style was all wrong for Fury. Really? Really, Ruben? You mean Hayes style that basically Manny Stewart said you stick a jab at Hay because his legs are too wide apart? Overhand right would have done it. Really? Yeah, like the overhand right he tried landing against Klitschko. I don't think so. I put £500 on Groves to win second fight. It was a sad day. I put money both times for Froch to come from behind and stop Groves. Robert, I suppose you're not a big Froch fan. Knocked him clean out. Froch also never challenged himself by going up in weight. That's another good point, Copen09. So, Froch, good fighter, very good fighter, never number one, never undisputed, never moved up in weight. And, you know, I think Joe Calzaghe would have beaten him, personally. Another fight that you should have considered, Hay versus Fury. Who was your pick at that time? Fury. My pick at the time was Fury then. My pick at the time for Klitschko Fury was Fury. So, Froch is a bellend, and by that, and by far the worst Sky commentator that thank God for American streams. Hi, fight fans. Hi, fight fans. Hi. Fury would have beat Hay in 2013. Yeah, of course he would have done. Froch was unbearable commentating on AJ Park. I don't know. I think when you listen to Froch, you need to have an acquired taste. I don't mind listening to Froch, to be honest, but scorecards are dreadful. He had Carl Froch had Parker, Joshua winning all the first 5 rounds. I'm like, what? What fight are you watching, mate? I bought tickets for Vlad versus Fury 2, so disappointed he fell through. There's not a man born from his mother that I'd pick to beat Tyson Fury, all wooden tops. Vitale is linear champion, so Wilder is the linear champion. Froch is very insecure. Why is everyone attacking Carl Froch? I'm not. I like Carl Froch. I like him. He's a guy that I would love to sit down and talk to. I really would. You know where you feel to yourself, you'd sit down and have an interview with somebody and nothing would happen. Nothing would happen at the interview. But just for the whole point of it being a nothing like interview, I'd love to sit down and talk to Carl. I really would. Because I don't think much, not that I don't think much would come out of it. I think it'd be one of those interviews where I think he'd switch. He's the kind of guy who'll switch quite quickly. You know? Yeah, I'm sure he'll talk a lot. He enjoyed talking about himself. But probably ask him some questions that might sting him the wrong way. International superstar. I like Carl though. I'd love to get an interview, talk to him. Froch got a new nose ages ago. Froch is the kind of person to set his alarm clock 1 hour early every morning to be himself. Oh, LOL. He's got hot misses. I will give him that. Wow. Froch scores regular 10 rounds. That's a sign of a twat. God. No. Stop the Froch hating. Froch, it seems a complete no, but I don't think he is. I really don't. I think he probably is a decent guy. Just, you know, I actually think Froch is probably a decent guy. I really do. I've actually seen his house. I once was driven to Froch's house in Nottingham. My God, built it himself. Absolutely gorgeous. How good was Clinton Woods? I thought it was very good. I thought he was very underrated. Very underrated Clinton Woods. Fought some prime guys. Glenn Johnson fought the Cuban guy. Julio Gonzalez. Fought 3 times against Glenn Johnson. But always had problems when he went abroad. He fought prime Roy Jones, and I mean prime Roy Jones. That's when Roy Jones was blistering. And Roy Jones peppered Clinton Woods. I like Clinton Woods. I thought he was a very good fighter. Good chin. Good job, though. No, Ash Clouds the day he got the nose job. Froch is the kind of guy to slap his own ass as he watches porn. What? Mr. Froch is the type of guy who carries a mirror around with him. Where will you guys get this impression of what Froch is like? I think people's TV persona and who they are in real life, I don't think he's like that at all. Froch is a waste man. No, I'm not having that. I remember when Froch was on Charles' TV show and acted like a right knob. This chatters me laughing my ass off. God. GGG, bottle it from Ward. Froch has a ghost in his house, but he won't get a priest to ward off the evil spirit. So you could talk while you're doing an interview with Joe. If you could talk about interviews with Carl Froch, you could mention keywords: Andre Ward, Ash Cloud, first fight to Kessler, Dirrell fight, Jermaine Taylor, JC, Joe Kawasaki, Yusuf Mack, you know why. Those would be my 7 topics I would talk to Carl Froch about. And those were the 7 topics I would make my conversation about. I don't know how long that interview would last. Probably I could start by saying, I don't know, no, not. Somebody else probably take my idea. But I'd love to talk to him though. Tagay is slurring his words and not taking half the punishment Froch has. It's interesting there. Froch is still so bitter about Ward. Says Ward retired because he's scared of Bivol. Would love Froch to go fight Kovalev and get knocked clean out. Froch isn't down to earth. The earth is down to him. You see, when you talk about Carl Froch, you've got to put Chuck Norris to one side. Chuck Norris is really Carl Froch. That's what it is. Or Carl Froch is really Chuck Norris. That's what it is. De Gale is overrated. Froch still pissed about his Wembley record, LOL. Would would be your last interview with him? No, I think it would be entertaining. And I think I actually think Froch would see the funny. I think he'd actually see the funny side of it. As long as you let him in with it, I think he'd see the funny side of it. But he's the kind of guy who'd say to me, "You're taking the piss, aren't you, mate?" What sort of thing he'd say, I would imagine. Froch is a warrior, didn't duck anyone. Every time I see Froch on TV, I feel better about myself. At least I'm not Froch. Froch isn't even a topic in the video, and he's still getting verbally destroyed here. LML. Froch gave birth to Chuck Norris. LOL Cameron. Froch is bad, but Johnny Nelson. Listen. I don't know what the Sky agenda is tonight, but I'm not getting involved with it. I'm not getting involved with any Sky agenda. You guys, it's down to you. If the commentary's so bad, then turn your volume down and join us on the live shows. The live boxing shows, BWTM does the live commentary. You know where to go. And if you want to see all our live commentaries or the previous commentaries, then let me know. You can just go onto the playlist. What I want to do is continue doing as well. I want to start doing some live commentary to old fights. I think I did Chavez, Oscar De La Hoya, Luis Bruno, and I've done all the big fights as well, commentary in them. Arm punches Ingram. LOL James. Froch is the only guy in the world who would try and outstay himself in the mirror. Froch is the type of person to imagine he's cleaning his teeth in front of 80,000 people. I go to fights live so I don't have to listen to Sky commentators. Oh, God. Sky boxing coverage over Box Nation any day, but Froch and Nelson are a couple of bad rotten apples. Froch is the kind of guy to go to someone's funeral and say it's a good turn up, but not quite 80,000. Listen, I like Carl Froch. I think he's a character. We love when Froch is Froch is like the fighter needs to keep his hands up and not eat punches. Yeah, I do like when he talks about fighters being defensively responsible when he was never defensively responsible. But I think now he's caught on to it and he's realised now that when he's talking about it, he realised he took a few punches himself. EJ Boxing Live says, "You're welcome, Ingram." Thank you very much, EJ. Did you have Robin Reed beating Kawasaki? Yes, I did. Sorry. Wilder AJ Brooks Spence. Oh, dear. I'd rather boil the kettle and pour it on my eyes than listen to Froch on commentary. Talking of arm punches, Ingram, do you think Jim Watt retirement was a direct result of public demand? Listen, I don't know why they got rid of Jim Watt, because what did they replace him with? I don't know why they got rid of Jim Watt. I mean, I enjoyed listening to Jim Watt, even when he was talking a whole heap of terrible stuff. I love listening to Jim Watt. But I don't understand why they got rid of Jim Watt. I still can't understand why they got rid of Ian Darke, because Ian Darke is the best commentator on Sky, hands down. You could put everyone they've got. You could put every single one. I include Paulie Malignaggi. Paulie Malignaggi is a good analyst, and he can break a fight down, but he can't sell your story. Paulie Malignaggi doesn't paint a pic. The great thing about a comment for me, a commentator, he paints the picture, he tells you the story, and he's telling you the story while he's commentating. Ian Darke set the scene for you. Paulie Malignaggi will just tell you what's going on in the fight, which is fine. Ian Darke can tell you what's going on in the fight. He give you a history. He can give you a history lesson, and he can keep you up to date with the fight. And he was so flamboyant in the way he spoke, and so articulate in the way he spoke. Just Ian Darke is on his own level. Ian Darke was the best commentator Sky had. I'm sorry. Ian Darke and Glenn McCrory, they worked well together, complemented one another, much like Jim Watt and Reg Guttridge on the Big Fight Live. You got to remember, back in those days, some Sky so much, but ITV, I didn't think there was as much bias as there is today. Alan Smith makes Adam Partridge look like Barry Davis. Malignaggi is good, I agree. Looking back, Jim Watt was very good commentator, punches in bunches. Got to make room for salary. Darke and McCrory, TBE, of course. Adam Smith literally the worst. Guy sounds like he zipped his cock in his pants. Ian and Glenn, yep, you're on point. Totally agree with you on Ian Dark. Ian Dark, he was good. He's great. The man's still great. He's doing football comment. Ian Dark should listen. Ian Dark is the man. But if Ian Dark should walk back into Sky and say, "All you guys," he should walk in and say, "All you guys, sit down, shut up. I'm going to show you how it's done." Do you know what I mean? Frotch is the best on Sky until he starts talking, I think. What had enthusiasm? Frotch is there for the check and camera time. I miss Nick Halling, to be honest. Saying Anthony Joshua with the huge right hand. And then Alan says, good time. Exciting times ahead on Sky. Well, this is it. Can Joshua do it? Mouth-watering times ahead. Great times. Exciting times, really. At this great event we have tonight here. Can he do it? Is it the end of the road? And he's always quick to tell you, Adam Smith, is it the end of the road for this prospect? Is it the end of the road? Always saying he's ready to give you an end of the road before the road even begins. He's ready to give you an end of a road. I like Al Bernstein. Yeah, Al Bernstein. Bernstein. When you listen to Bernstein, you know you listen to American commentary. You know you listen to a great. I love Bernstein. But I tell you what else I like as well. Shoot. He commentated in the Roy Jones fight against John Ruiz. Oh man, the Colonel. Bob Sheridan. Is it Bob Sheridan? Maybe Bob Sheridan, I'm not sure. But yeah, he was a great commentator as well. Paul Smith is also awful. Conor Benn is one of the most exciting prospects in the world boxing. Oh dear. Eubank has charisma though. Matthew Mackin is one of my favourites. Mackin's called Alan Smith needs a hard drive checked out. Alan Smith could stand in court. The judges would have the verdict in case, and he says, "Is it the end of the road?" Kellerman's not been as good as I think Kellerman got pulled up. I think a couple of years back, Kellerman got pulled up for he got pulled up because he was talking too much sense. I think he said it was when the Pacquiao fight was being announced, and he was saying, "Who's the best guy with the best straight right hand in boxing?" Floyd Mayweather. Pacquiao's open to the straight right hand. Who's the best defensive boxer in boxing? Floyd Mayweather. Who's the best counterpuncher in boxing? Floyd Mayweather. All the things that Manny Pacquiao doesn't want Floyd Mayweather. I think when he made that statement, made that whole rundown of why Floyd Mayweather is going to beat Manny Pacquiao, I don't think it did him any favors. So I think that was where the turning was with Kellerman, and then he became more of a company man. He was like, yeah, Nicky Piper's good as well. Frotch and Eubank Sr. would have been a great fight. Al Bernstein on the Hagler Hearns fight was great, yes. We're in Nicky Piper now. Where's Nicky Piper? That's a good question. Where is Nicky Piper? Are we all going to get better punditry until he... Are we not going to get better punditry until these guys die? No, you're going to listen to BWTM Sports when there's a live commentary. Check us out. You can tell us what you think. When Bronis and Malinaji hit his bird with a left hook and she was still standing. That's just wrong. That's just wrong. Reg Gardner was a great commentator. Emmanuel Stewart. Emmanuel Stewart. He was great listening to Emmanuel Stewart for HBO. He was brilliant. Adams says, OJ, women love him. Men want to be him. Is AJ the best British heavyweight these shores have ever seen? We might not see the likes of AJ again. Oh my God. Look, This has got to stop. I'd rather listen to Floyd Senior and Roach commentating after 10 pints each than Smith and Roach. AJ, a fighter, would be dead on the canvas, and Smith would say, "This is the end of the road." All right, listen, this has got ridiculous. This has got ridiculous. This is ridiculous. All right, listen, I did not come on here to talk about Sky Sports and their commentators. Wish them all the best. You know what? Wish them all the best. If Box Nation can get a clue, they'd make sure their commentary team didn't reflect what Sky's doing at the moment. But I understand now. I think they've got to look after their house fires. They should have an option to listen to fan zone commentary from the punters as they used to have on the football. Yes. 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 We've forgotten bunts. Oh, dear. I'll stick a 10 on Pricey for the rematch against Tony Thompson. Yeah, stick a 10 on Pricey. You can't go wrong with that. I mean, Tony Thompson caught him with a lucky punch, innit? Yeah, I think so. He caught Tony Thompson with a lucky punch. Yeah, Tony Thompson caught him with a lucky punch. That's what it was all about, innit, geezer? Jesus. See? I'm laughing with tears. Roy Jones can be good, but when he did Vlad versus Fury, he said, "Why is he putting his arm over the head of this guy who's 6'7", who's supposed to be 6'9"? Yeah, I used to like George Foreman. Yeah. Oh, I remember Lennox Lewis commentating once, and I think that was one of the last times Lennox Lewis ever commentated. Lance said to Lennox, "Who do you think is going to win this fight?" You got two great fighters boxing tonight. And, we're going to find out who the better boxer is. So I said, "Lennox, who do you think is going to win?" Well, when Lennox Lewis is watching a fight, he looks at two fighters and he breaks down, their strengths and weaknesses. So, Lennox, who do you think is going to actually win the fight, though, Lennox? Yeah, two guys going to box. There's going to be a winner and there's going to be a loser. And that's why boxing's so great. So, that's why you've got to tune into HBO. And that's why we're here to see great boxing tonight. Lennox, who's going to win the fight? You never know. It's a toss-up. It's a 50-50 fight. Lennox, who's going to win the fight? They're both good boxers. But we're just going to have to see. I'm on the fence on this one. Lennox, you can't be on the fence because you're commentating. They're both good fighters. I wouldn't want to say who's this and who's that, but I think it's a good fight, and let's tune into a great fight. And, it's a pleasure to be here. I think that was the last time Lennox Lewis commentated on a fight. I couldn't remember what the fight was, but he was commentating, and after that, it was the end, because Lennox used to be commentating regular, and they got rid of him. So, yeah, that was the last time. Is this the end of the road for Lewis? Steve Dunce. Well, despite the scorecard, I know. I had a British fighter going into the last round. I think one of the greatest lines was, I can see Paul Smith here. He's saving it for the 12th round. He's saving it for the 12th round, Paul. That's the game plan. Paul Smith is saving it for the 12th. Oh, he's just been dropped. Yeah, that was one of the greatest lines where Smith got knocked down in the 12th round when he was behind on points, and I couldn't understand why. This commentator kept saying he was going to win the fight. I couldn't see it myself, but there you go. I loved Naz on the Eubank Groves. It was refreshing. Naz is king. Naz Hammond is king. Foreman and Larry on one of Naz's fights when he had 15-minute long entrance was funny. In a short career, Princeton was the best pundit ever. Stick Lennox on commentary with Adam Smith. Adam can say, "Who's going to win tonight, Lennox?" And he replies, the fight on the night. And Smith goes, "Exciting times ahead with Lennox Lewis." The United didn't deserve Princeton Hamid. I know. Naz ring works were worth the entrance fee and the pay-per-view money that's on it. Well, there is a new guy on the block. Two guys. 55 people in the room are watching this. Now I'm going to make a big announcement, a massive announcement. And I don't want to hear nobody else tell me any crap. I don't want to hear no other media outlet say they discovered this man first. I'm mentioning the name now. Rashidi Ellis. Those track back the history. I've talked about this guy. This guy is going to be one of the most dangerous welterweights in the world. He was the #1 welterweight in America. He's now on the comeback trail. I think he had some time out. He had a baby boy, a baby girl. He's back. Rashidi Ellis. Check the guy out. No Spencer Ferron telling you about it. I'm telling you, check it out. Rashidi Ellis. A bad mama jammer. Very good fighter. Fast hands, fast feet, big punch. Rashidi Ellis. Check him out. And also have a look at the guy by the name of Mahib Fazaldin, better known as Flashy Faz. I've got a couple of videos of him working out in the gym. He's got a WBO European title shot coming up soon. He's fighting at the end. I think he's fighting twice in April. So look, check him out as well. They call him the new Naz. So we'll see. Gonna be interesting. He's got all the Naz moves, and he does have all the switch hits from Alfred X Southpaw, leaping in with the shots and stuff. From Sheffield as well, same country or same place as Naz. Naz almost was managing him at one point from Yemen. So Mahib Fazaldin, check him out. But on the world scene, check out Rashidi Ellis and get back to me about it. Rashidi Ellis. Who do you think is going to win? Wilder versus Joshua? Well, Joshua doesn't move his head and is pretty flat-footed. Wilder's got fast hands, fast feet, faster feet, light on his feet. Both are defensively irresponsible. Between the two of them, Wilder will take more chances. Wilder will take more chances than Joshua, I think. And at the moment, I go with Wilder. Because I don't know. But I think Wilder's more hungry to fight Joshua. I don't think Joshua's hungry to fight Wilder. Why would he be hungry to fight Wilder? He's earning all this money. He's got superstardom in the UK. Why the hell does he want to rush to fight Wilder? Whereas Wilder, you can see he wants a piece of the action. Spencer Ferron describes fighters like he is describing his favorite weed. Good amount of people in the room tonight. Yep, that's nice. Man, I really fancy Wilder for that fight. Wilder, Josh, too easy to hit. Been following Ellis for a while. Yes, said keep a check of him. Wilder is more vicious. Josh showed in that Parker fight that he wouldn't jump in and take any risks that like Ortiz did against Wilder, which got him KO'd. Now, Wilder wants the payday. That's racist. What's racist? What are you talking about? Is Spencer Ferron a cab driver or what? What's everyone saying? He has the knowledge. Oh, he has some knowledge. I don't know what knowledge is. Ain't true Josh Taylor fighting Theophane? If he is, and Josh Taylor should win that fight quite easily. I don't expect Theophane. I don't want to see AJ at 270. Please don't. Oh, okay. Spencer Ferron, that's another one. Who's your pick for the fight one, sir? Well, first of all, we have to go back to the century. Look, listen, and I'm going to say this. Would you be calling Abel back later to doing an interview? Well, it seems now it's going to happen. Now you asked the question, Roberta. If you stay up, if you promise you'll stay up, was it 3 a.m.? Yeah, I'll stay up till 3 a.m. and I'll interview Abel. So if you want me to do an Abel Sanchez interview, I'll call Abel Sanchez and I'll do a 3 a.m. interview with Abel. How does that sound? Would you be happy with that? Would that make you happy? It's a Charles Archibald. What is it with you tonight? Why have you all got a problem with Sky tonight? What's the problem? And why are you coming telling me about Sky? Well, he was like, I'm like, have I become the what do they call it again? Have I become the doctor or the farmer? Am I the chemist for Sky symptoms? What are you all telling me about Sky for? No, I think AJ looks great at 242. You think he looks great? Okay. Spencer, I'm the kind of guy to pick Brooke to beat GGG and then afterwards say the fight shouldn't have been made. It's Adam Smith without enough agony heart. Oh, BWM, don't forget your call to the States. Hope he's ready, willing, able. Ready, willing, able. Who is Tyson Fury gonna first fight back? Somebody that doesn't really matter, I think. I want to see Adam Smith fight as Vladimir Klitschko. Vladimir Klitschko's comeback fight. See if he thinks it's great times ahead then. Oh yes, we welcome back to the UK the former undisputed, former unified heavyweight champion of the world, Vladimir Klitschko. Vladimir, it's great to have you back on these shores. So what makes you want to have this comeback then? It's better for the good of boxing if Wilder wins. Wilder winning may finally wake America to the sport of boxing again. Yeah, I can see that. There was one good fight on that pay-per-view. Crawler and Burnett for 22 rounds. Wow. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Wilder's going to ice AJ. Well, I think... Well, listen. Let me put it to you this way. When Lennox Lewis was WBC heavyweight champion of the world, do you remember? Was he unified champion when he fought Michael Grant? Deontay Wilder is Anthony Joshua's Michael Grant. Think about it. Just think about it a second. Unbeaten, big puncher. The only thing is, I think Wilder's got a better chin than Michael Grant. But think about it. Tall, long, powerful, unbeaten. Americans love him. Michael Grant was never a world champion now. So, you know, but that's the fight. Lennox then blasted Grant out of there. Who actually had the audacity to employ Adam Smith? Where did Adam Smith come from? We'll have to check that out, where he came from. Spencer Vaughan is a fraud, thinks he knows it all. If he was that good, luck at his boxing record, SMN, would pay to see Adam Smith's internet history. Wilder is W. Well, I don't know about that. I wouldn't say that. He is much more vicious. Yeah, of course he is much more vicious. Of course he is. Of course he is. I still would love to see David Price fight Deontay Wilder. I still would. AJ is learning the hold and uppercut like Lennox as well. He's learning to box like Vladimir. That's what he's learning to do. Learn to box like Vlad. Michael Grant came down to earth from that uppercut. Yeah. You guys are terrible. You guys are absolutely terrible. Missed a few good comments from Roberta Ingram. Go further up. Okay. Thank you very much, Cameron. What did Roberta say? Adam sees two toddlers fighting in public, turns to his wife and says, "It's got real spice to it, hasn't it?" Oh, shit. Adam Smith says to Tony Bellew, "Tony, you're good friends with David Price. Tony, who wins? Price or Povetkin?" Oh, dear. Hashtag conflict of interest. It doesn't matter at Sky. We'll never be biased. As he said to me in that interview, there'll be no bias here at Sky. Okay. You know what? I love Sky. Honestly, I love them. I love it. They're great. They're doing a great job. Personally, I think I have not, you know, two things I'm going to say now. They're going to shock a lot of people. I think Sky doing a wonderful job. I think Adam Smith does a brilliant job. And I also think that I love casuals. I'm probably somebody to say to me, why are you saying that? I never wish any fighter to get badly beaten or KO, but I truly hope Wilder gets flattened by AJ after saying he wants a body his record. Now, about that body on his record, I think people forget about what I talked about in the fight between Ortiz and Deontay Wilder. When I made these comments quite clear, he said those things. And it's a lot deeper than people think. I told you about Deontay Wilder. I told you they talked about him being a different personality when he gets in the ring. And that he is a split personality. And he says that one side of him wants a body before his career is over. I said this. Go back and listen to my preview of Deontay Wilder. Is he under what is he Deontay Wilder under the influence? Go back and listen to that. I can't understand why you guys are all shocked about it and the media all shocked about it. Because I mentioned to it before the Ortiz fight. Don't do this, Ingram. Ingram, have you been drinking? No, I haven't been drinking. No, I haven't been drinking. I haven't been drinking. Well, actually, I have. Glass of ginger here. It's actually ginger. Health food store, spicy ginger, really nice. I'm pleased to see Big Pricey on Saturday, looking more relaxed, composed, and skillful. I hope he keeps going. Not shocked, sickened. Well, it's to be expected of Deontay. Wilder craves attention more than he cares about his image. End of story. All he says is being jealous of AJ's popularity. I said that. I said about Wilder needed a proper PR team behind him. Wilder was talking about how he wanted a body and thought he had one because Spilker wasn't breathing right before talking about how he fights for his kids and the importance of family. Split personality, I said that before. I don't believe he actually wants a body on his record. I think it's to create fear factor. Boxing is, sport is boxing, not slaughtering. I agree. But that is just what you're dealing with. But remember, Mike Tyson said he wanted to punch somebody in the nose and run and make them punch the nose into the brain and give them brain damage. Remember that? Tyson said he wanted to rip out this person's heart and eat their kids. I mean, Mike said it. If you go on, you listen to Mike. Some of the Mike's got away with some real stuff. Go back. You go back and check. You go on Mike Tyson interviews. Go on YouTube and check out Mike Tyson interviews. I ain't repeating after stuff Mike said. You know. But Mike said a lot of things. So it's the even Drago mentality. I don't think he meant it that 100%. No, I believe he did. Tongue-in-cheek comments. No, I don't think it's tongue-in-cheek. I don't think Wilder's a tongue-in-cheek type of guy. I don't think you've gathered that already. He's not a tongue-in-cheek type of guy. He slapped Dominic Brazil in front of his missus and his kids. That's not a tongue-in-cheek type of guy. Only because Tyson said something doesn't make it right. No, I know. That's what my wife said to me. I found it funny, though. Every athlete said to have a different mindset and personality when they go into their particular competition. I'm not buying this under the influence stuff. Ingram, stop trolling about Sky. No, I actually like Sky. I like what they're doing. I like the fact that they use the conflict of interest, and I like the fact that they continue to do what they do. Great stuff. Let me continue. And the casuals, I love the casuals. You know what? I've not got a bad thing to say about casuals. Because if you think about it, if you're honest, if you're really honest, hardcore boxing fans don't pay for boxing. Generally, they don't. The people who really pay for boxing, I mean, you think about an Anthony Joshua fight. How many hardcores would pay to see Joshua fight Takam or Joshua fight Brazil? Really? I would argue, I'd be hard pressed. I think most of that arena is with casuals. Gokuja says he doesn't want a body. Explained recently, it's like a split personality. He basically changed his persona when he steps in, which I mentioned that. Ingram is only talking about Sky because we slaughtered them all night. No, forget Adam Smith, Reg Country and Harry Carpenter. Who was the best? Reg for me. I like Harry Carpenter. Get in there, Frank. Sky coverage is poor. They never show the whole card. I agree. Mike was deranged. He bit a piece of Holyfield's ear, for Christ's sake. We've lost a great comrade. None. LOL. Joshua Klitschko is the only fight that I paid for. All the hardcore streams. What's the name of the Irish commentator? Used to do a lot of the BBC commentator. Dave McCauley. Dave McCauley. I love Dave McCauley. Did you rate him? Absolutely, Dave McCauley. Dave McCauley was. I used to watch Dave McCauley box. He's from Northern Ireland, I think. Dave McCauley. What a fighter. Love Dave McCauley. And you also had Wayne McCulloch as well. McCulloch was pretty decent as well. Have you tried talking to Casual about boxing? Yes. I spoke to Casual about boxing day before yesterday. It was a girl. And she was telling me about boxing. I called her a Casual. I said, what do you mean by that? She said, oh, I like boxing. I only like the big fights. I said, oh, so the big fights must come twice a year then? She said, yeah. Anthony Joshua. I thought, you're proper Casual. So she said to me, yeah, I like AJ. I said, why do you like AJ? He's my favorite boxer. I said, why is he your favorite boxer? Oh, I don't know. He's really good at what he does. I said, okay. I said, is there any other boxers you know? No, just AJ. So how can he be the best boxer if there's only one boxer you know? I don't know. I just like AJ. He's my kind of guy. Right. Okay. Sure. Okay. Nice. So, that's the sort of stuff you get. Wilder has to say this stuff. As a product, he has failed. As American heavyweight, that is also the hardest puncher in the world. Should be the richest boxer and one of the richest stars worldwide. Brawler getting sued for sexual battery. No surprise there. Davey Boy was great. Used to get knocked down every other fight. Get back up, knock the other guy out. World champion, yep. Casual jumping the bandwagon. Did you punch a Casual in her tit, Ingram? No, I didn't. I smiled at her. Ingram always talks to Casuals. Haven't you seen him coming to Bow Show? Was it Casual you spoke to Adam Smith? No. It's cause she got an AJ dildo from Adam Summers. Dear me. It's when you're on the bus or you're on the train and you listen to people say, oh, yeah, AJ really bashed up that geezer the other night. He really bashed him up. And you listen to it and I go, oh, my God. AJ's a great, you know what? I think AJ, did you see that picture of AJ where he was standing over Klitschko like Ali? Yeah. I think AJ would beat Ali. Yeah. I can't wait till that GGG fight. It's like, AJ, it's going to be a great fight. But it's all right now. As with the king of casuals. Have you ever heard Adam Smith break down a fight? Just a question I want to know. Have you ever heard Adam Smith break down a fight? Break it down. You've got the hungry prospect against the long reigning world champion. Who's going to win this concoction of ingredients? What a fight. What a fight we've got here. I'm just about to bring in Matthew Macklin. Matthew, how are you feeling? Yeah, I'm feeling all right, man. It's all right. It's a good fight tonight. Two good fighters, two good guys. I'm looking to see the best out of both of them. Joshua is the type of guy to walk into Ann Summers and tell a guy who is buying condoms to stay hungry and don't use protection. Never. Just spout shit. No, just a question. It's a question. Yeah, casuals do think Joshua should be the flashy American fella, Mayweather or whatever he's called. Oh dear. Look, I think Sky do what they do. They do a great job of what they do. I think the casuals do a great job as well. The casuals are keeping our sport afloat, and fair play to the casuals. How would you describe your boxing style? Counterpunching, I would say. Alan Smith has gone downhill since his appearance in Pulp Fiction as the Gimp. AJ Mayweather would be AJ. There's a casual who pay for the event, exactly. Someone I know was at the fight, and someone behind him said that Joe Cordina, that's Joe Cordina when Price was fighting Povetkin. LMO, true story. Oh dear. I paid for GG versus Canelo. Never again. Stream for life. Ingram's a cute boxer. Bring Duke. Oh my good lord. You can't have Duke McKenzie on Sky. They'd ruin him. No, leave Duke where he is. I love Duke. Love Duke. I love Duke. I really do. Naz was wrong to put him like in that situation. I love Duke. I like him. Wow, I can't believe the real Hands of Stone is live in the chat. The real Hands of Stone? Really? Where? I think Sky do a great job. I think we need Sky and we need Box Nation. Without Sky and Box Nation, a lot of the fights we wouldn't be able to see today. We really would be. So they're doing a great job. And that's the way they're going to do their business. That's the way they're going to do their business. You know? So, yeah. But, personally, Duke is too small to carry the commentator's team. LOL, Cam. Aaron Smith is clearly Adam Smith in disguise here. There. But do you know what I really would like to see, personally? Oh, Ron McIntosh. I met Ronald. Nice guy. But Ronald McIntosh should be a radio commentator and stay a radio commentator. He always sounds, if you listen to Ronald McIntosh and you actually turn the TV, you actually close your eyes and listen to Ronald McIntosh, he sounds like he listens to radio when he's talking. Even when he's asking a question, he sounds like he's on Radio 5. You know, he's the only guy I know that sounds like you're watching radio when you're watching visual. Has anyone seen Tyon Booth's video? No, I haven't. Adam Booth couldn't even break his wife down in bed. Adam Smith, sorry. What happened to Ed Robinson? And do you miss ringside? Do I miss ringside? I said this to Spencer Ferron the last time he was on our channel. I said to Spencer, you can't compare the Sky team today as to when they had ringside. Ringside is by far with Gary Norman, Gary Mason, Ian Dart, Glenn McCrory, Jim Watt, occasionally Gary Logan. I loved it when Gary Mason was in the office. Gary Mason would be on there. Frank Bruno would come in and have a chat. Yeah, I remember they asked Frank Bruno once. After Bruno got beat by Lennox Lewis, they used to bring Frank in, and Frank said, maybe breaking down the Oliver McCall fight. He said Oliver McCall's going to be a dangerous fight for Lennox Lewis. McCall ended up going and knocking Lennox Lewis out. I used to love it the way that they mix from the British to the American fights. You get the British fights and the American, and then you go off to American fights and you get all the highlights of all the big fights in America. But I remember a show called Seconds Out. You remember Seconds Out with Nick Owen? That was a great show. If you can go back in the history books and go back and check out Nick Owen, that was one of the best the Nigel Benn, Chris Eubank, when they signed the contract in the studio. Oh my word. That's probably some of the best TV I've ever seen with boxing. And then they did the rematch where they had Eubank and Ben. Oh, that was so well. I loved that. It was brilliant. Loved it. Ronald is a five-punch salvo. Macintosh. They asked Hansa Stone to Roberto Duran, did he really knock out a horse one time? He just said nay. Sod Sky, I'm old enough to remember to wrestle big fights. So am I. Does anyone know when Michael Reese Page is fighting next? Don't know. Macintosh is the face of full radio. Gary Logan's a knowledgeable guy. He is. Nick Owen was fire. Absolutely. He had that cheeky little smile, Nick Owen. Why does this conman Hearn say some fights can't happen without pay-per-view when pay-per-view is relatively new? Wow, one from the vault, Nick Owen. Nick Owen was a legend. Still is a legend. Where is Nick Owen? Love Nick Owen. Dun, 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 dun. That was it midweek sports special? Or seconds out. It was one of the two. And then they used to have Nigel Benn fights. It only lasted about a round. I think the first time I watched Seconds Out, and there was KOTV. The first time I watched Seconds Out was my first fight was Michael Nunn against Sambu Cullenbay. I was a huge Michael Nunn fan. And he knocked out Sambu Cullenbay in the first round. That was one of the best knockouts I've ever seen. Gary Logan was a terrible ring announcer. I never saw him ring announce. But yeah, Michael Nunn knocking out Sambu Cullenbay was something special. Michael second to none. People seem to forget Michael Nunn. I thought he's a great fighter. Nick Owen is a presenter on West Midlands local news. Yeah. Can we have some parliamentary procedure? That night was absolute fire. I love that night. We want to see Higgins versus Hearn again. Get Parker back to the UK. No, I want Warren versus Hearn. That's what I want. And do you know what I want? I want, me personally, if I had my way, for one night only, winner takes all, Box Nation versus Sky Sports. One night only. Right? Go right down the weight division. Right down. Box Nation versus Matchroom. Winner takes all. Right? And to start the night off, before the boxing even begun, Hearn and Warren sitting down at a table, face off. Have those two talking out. And who would I have in the middle to stir it all up? Would I have Max? I wouldn't have Johnny Nelson. Who would really stir it up nicely? Max Kellerman? Stephen A. Smith, and what's the other guy's name? That guy, that casual from... No, you can't have that. You can't have that. You can't have them two because it wouldn't work that well. John Rawling? No, it wouldn't work. Ian Dark. Ian Dark in the middle between... Or even Jim Rosenthal could pull it off. Jim Rosenthal's Box Nation can do it. Paul Dempsey. Oh, yes. Perfect. Paul Dempsey in the middle. Frank Warren, Eddie Hearn. And then Box Nation versus Sky Sports. That would be an awesome night. That's a proper pay-per-view event. Warren and Hearn, bra and panty match. Put Kenny Malone in there for the banter. Tyson Fury mediating. LMO Ruben, Billy Joe Saunders. That would mean Bunsen Smith on the same commentary team. That's too much for any man to handle. Coogan to host Warren and Hearn versus Hearn. That'd be interesting. I like Paul Dempsey. I want to fight Eddie. When Anne and Nick were first on Breakfast TV, we got up all early, no sweat to go to school. I think we were just looking like Anne's legs and the weirdest like Nick's hairy. I used to love Anne. And Diamond was like, I used to fantasize about Anne Diamond when I was like 11 years old. I don't know what I found was so attractive about Anne Diamond. There was Anne Diamond. There was that Weather Girl. And there was somebody else as well. Who it was it Linda Lusardi? I don't know. It was a long time ago. You should be the mediator in that, Ingram. Hearn versus Warren. Oh, no, I think if I did that, I'd be a bit biased. I think I'd be biased. So, no, I wouldn't want to have anything to do with it. Anne Diamond was hot. She was. There was something about Anne Diamond, wasn't there? I don't know. Where is this conversation going, by the way? Just having this random conversation tonight. I guess I'm just killing time because we're going to try and get Mr. Sanchez back. So yeah, I heard through the grapevine also tonight that one of the girls that got beat by Cecilia Breakers is now IBO champion, and I believe James Ellie Bashir is going to be training her now. I just heard the information tonight as well. Thought I'd let you know on that. Never mind, Ingram, keep going. And Diamond, LOL. Who would win? BT would win that card easy. Does Abel say handsome when he picks up your call? No, he goes, hello? I said, hello. He goes, I'm in the gym. I said, that's nice. He goes, I'm in the gym. I said, that's nice. I'm in the gym. I said, yeah, that's great. Does that mean you want me to call you back? Yeah. I said, when do you want me to call you back? 2 hours. I said, okay. Bye. Yeah, bye. So there you go. That's it. Stop doing your show so late, Ingram. You've got work in the morning. Haha. Can you send me a link if you're killing time? You know what? We could do your show as well while we're at it. And you can jump in and we can talk as well. Call Mr. Bashir. Can't because he's out. But I'd love to have called him. If you got engaged to Anne, would you buy a diamond ring? Well, don't know about a diamond ring. Yeah, let's go for it. Let's do it. We can do a European boxing show now as well. Let's get that in. Let's give these people that have been so loyal and stuck with us all night so far. You can give us some more news, and who knows, you might even get the Povetkin fan back in as well. Let's get in. Oh, what about it? It's always nice to have the Eastern European boxing correspondent in the room, Eugene. So it's going to be great to have him back in the room. He'll update me on what's been going on. My blood pressure is just right, Jacob Gospel. Yes. While the fanboy checking in. You know. Yes. Don't forget to ask about Billy Joe as they're coming to the UK. Eugene sounds like someone who's had the American election. No, he's a Eastern European correspondent. So he'll give us... He doesn't know everything about every Eastern European fighter, but he has a good knowledge on most. I heard a rumor, I hope it's not true, but I understand that Usyk versus Gassiev, that date is going to change, and it's not going to be the date that it originally was. That's what I heard. Yado, of course. Where is Bertabir, Eugene lad? Did you all check out my interview with Bivol, by the way? Like he's talking. We asked him a question and said, "Have you heard of Frank Buglioni?" He went, "No, I've never heard of Frank Buglioni." And then he said, "But he knew who Anthony Yard was." Bivol said, "Is he that guy with the big muscles?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah, I've seen him fight a few times." Eugene, you've got the link, my friend. Are you there? After Brian KO's Joey, he'll be back at the top. Definitely. This is definitely the best boxing YouTube channel with the best view chat.
Oi.
Man's in the room. Eugene, you there, brother?
Yeah, I am here.
How are we doing?
Doing great.
So for those people who don't know who you are, just very quickly remind people who you are.
My name is Eugene. That is the best kind of version of my name that you can pronounce. I'm updating BWTM sports on Eastern European boxers because there's a lot of information that doesn't go through just because of the language barrier. So I feel like it deserves to be heard, at least in some way. So I'm combining whatever necessary information from media and whatever source I can get my hands on and share it with you. So, and BWTM kind of helps me with that, and I'm glad to share it with you.
By the way, Eugene, can I just give you a round of applause because you do a tremendous job. So let me give you a round of applause for that. Absolutely.
Thank you.
I will take my hat off to you, but I don't have a hat to take off. But yes, so thank you so much because you do keep us informed. A lot of people out there appreciate what you do.
You can ask Bo for a hat. He's really happy to UPS all kinds of shit.
Mm-hmm. So let's see. If you've got any questions for Eugene rather than the Eastern European news, he'll be able to give you the updates. So take your top off instead, Ingram. Is Peter going to train Price? Absolutely not. It's not going to happen. So go ahead, Eugene. Fire away.
Okay, let's start with the recent ones. So it would be, and I'm always going with the heaviest weight and going downwards.
Okay.
So we have Povetkin. To my knowledge, it would seem that they would aim either at AJ, but if that fight cannot happen, which I don't know, it's 50-50 at this point. Povetkin doesn't seem to me like that much of a threat. If they just think of him as not being really positive as economic side of things for AJ, his team, being Rabinski, they might aim for the winner of Charakwendo.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so that fight is happening in early May, I think 4th or 5th of May.
That's great. Thank goodness God, that WBA title has been in limbo for so long. I mean, I know Charles has been champion, but nobody really cares because of AJ and obviously Wilder.
Well, that's kind of two names in the heavyweight division right now, so gotta have something. So yeah, Povetkin might challenge the Charakwendo winner. I'm just not buying a Kwendo win in that fight.
No, I don't. I think he'll fall over in a couple of rounds.
He's been out since 2014 at least, I think. It's just no way.
Bo may have a different opinion of it though.
Yeah, we remember what Bo's opinion worth, remember? No, listen. The craziest thing about that fight is nobody Me and Bo, we never saw it going that way.
Yeah, that's true.
And this is just, the way it went is just ridiculous. So I'm going to retire my case there. Like, the way Rigondeaux finished it and branded himself is just too bad for either one of us.
Yeah.
Anyways, Whyte challenging Pulev.
Mm-hmm.
I see Pulev doing that more willingly than just trying to get straight at AJ, because he wants economic leverage. Let's be honest, I don't think he's, after seeing that someone with a really strong jaw like Parker would stand 12 rounds against AJ. I don't think he has an idea in his mind that he can go 12 rounds there, but he wants to have a better pain angle, which would mean that he needs to be a mandatory. Okay, it's not like someone they choose out of top 15 and say, okay, you get a shot at AJ. No, I think he wants to get that IBF shot secured.
Mm-hmm.
And we know how thorough IBF is. Remember the Fury thing? So like, if you don't defend in 3 weeks, you're out. They're that thorough. It's something that is really consistent within IBF. You may not like it, but it's something they do. So it's kind of their thing. It's no wonder they are aiming for IBF eliminator. So I think the Whyte Pulev fight might happen.
Do you think that Pulev, he hasn't been active? The last fight he had was bloody against Kevin Johnson, and that was this time last year.
Well, let me open his record so far, but I think his last 3 fights were in Bulgaria. No, 2 fights. Okay, against Samuel Peter and Kevin Johnson. The fact that he's fighting in Bulgaria means that he cannot draw much attention in Germany, because that was his only fight in Bulgaria since ever. Since he began his career, he would either fight in Germany or Switzerland. Or I think not Switzerland, but I think Norway. He fought a couple of times in Norway. But anyways, the fact that he went back to Sofia, Bulgaria to fight Peter and Johnson means that they lost all the interest in him in Germany. So now he has to climb up by whatever means he can get. And fight with Whyte is less dangerous but more secure than, try his chances to be one of 15 in IBF rankings.
Okay.
That is the kind of state in heavyweight. So far, I think Bashir updated us that Sirenko will be fighting in June for youth WBC title. So that one is good to know, but he was supposed to fight for youth this time. It's just his opponent changed, and WBC apparently considered him not good enough for the title shot. So.
The thing about Povetkin and the whole drug thing, do you think that's left him now, or do you think that's going to still hang over his career?
Well, it always hangs over you. Like, whatever you do, it will hover above you. Whatever you clean, or somebody still suspects you. What I saw in prize fight, I will say that this is the pre-Klitschko Povetkin. The Povetkin that can be hurt by lesser opponents than top heavyweights. Because if you remember, before fighting Klitschko, he was fighting Marco Huck.
Exactly.
And Marco Huck gave absolute fucking hell to him.
He did.
So after Klitschko, they went a little bit sneaky about it. I don't know. Okay, I'm not accusing anyone. I'm not saying anything. But let's just say after Klitschko, he get drastically better. And after he got tested way thoroughly, he got drastically worse. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
What do you think of the knockout of David Price?
I expected it. Because if Price wouldn't blow him out in 3 rounds, that's just the logical conclusion of that fight.
He did hurt him though, didn't he? Or was he off balance?
Well, he did hurt him, definitely, because backpedaling like that, let me tell you.
There's a video out at the moment with one of these rappers doing a dance.
I've seen it.
You see it?
It was wonderful. But listen, the whole thing of it, that Price should have blown him out really early, and that should be the end of it, or Povetkin somehow will climb up and get Price where he wanted him. Because Price has really poor defense. Let's be honest about it.
His defense look better.
How much better? You know, it's really easy to go from 0 to 1 or from 0 to 5, but it's still not 10, you know.
I understand what you're saying, but this was the second best heavyweight in the world. I think people are a bit harsh on Price. Second best heavyweight in the world.
I would love Price to win that fight. That's all I'm saying.
You would like anyone to beat Povetkin, let's be honest.
No, I wouldn't like lesser guys. It's just...
No, but you would like...
Ever since his drug cheat story, I just don't like him. He's stained for me too much. Before the drug story, I was like, okay, that's the guy, and he lost one time. Let's see what he can do again. Ever since the twice drug test thing, because the first one, I could go with the, being whole. I think it was meldonium. And that's the thing that a lot of athletes got caught with. And the whole idea was that they were taking it openly because it wasn't limited. So even like my mom is a doctor, and she said meldonium is just a drug that you take to strengthen your heart. It's better for those who are doing a lot of exercise and that kind of thing. She's not a biologist because she doesn't know the side effects like endurance enhancing and whatever.
Okay.
But the whole thing is, I was like, okay, well, he blew the first time because maybe some residual, maybe something. The second time, for a different kind of thing, he tested positive for ostarine, I think, and what they said it was tainted supplements.
Okay.
I don't think they cut the supplements with ostarine. I'm pretty sure they don't. Usually what they do, they add like really something heavy, like actual steroids in it. So when you're buying cheap supplements for your diet, they can have really dirty stuff, so they kind of you have more effects than you are supposed to do. But ostarine is kind of like the story got shady, and I didn't got it the second time, which actually
So the punch that Povetkin knocked Price out with, was that PED laced, or was that just natural punching power?
No, that's pretty natural, and that's the punch we've seen a lot of times. Well, he's Povetkin is 6'2". He likes to work in the close range, and he has deadly hooks. His hooks are pretty bad. That's why whenever he would get close, Klitschko would tie him up, because he didn't want those hooks to land anywhere. The problem is, at some point, they become so deadly that both Takam, who else was it?
Harpers.
Duhaupas. Oh, Duhaupas was absolutely astonishing because Duhaupas went 11 rounds with Wilder, and he got stopped by TKO, so he wasn't like flat out cold knockout.
This guy was laid out like a carpet.
Yeah, and in that one, okay, it was a short notice fight. I think it was one night notice fight. So
he was in the audience. That's what I heard.
Yeah, he was. So they gave him regular sneakers, not the actual boxing shoes. Basically, it was the last minute replacement. But one way or another, your preparation doesn't change your chin. It only changes your, reaction speed, your, those aspects. And the way he knocked him out, it was cold. Like the ref straight up went for his mouthpiece, pulled it out, and it was over. You could see that this guy doesn't need any counting.
Mm-hmm.
So they were bells going around all the time.
Okay.
And that was the fight. Actually, that was the fight that Severn was supposed to take.
Right.
And he pulled out because of the failed drug test.
What do you think would have happened if Stavern and Povetkin had fought that night?
I think Stavern would get knocked out. I really do, because when Povetkin is not like low-skilled guy, it's just he has some issues with endurance and maybe a little bit of punching power.
Right.
A little bit, not much.
Okay.
So he needs just a little bit to get that edge, a little bit get over the edge. And when he gets, he's an unstoppable machine. Like it.
Do you think Povetkin can become world heavyweight champion again?
Not at this point. He's getting tested as thorough as it gets. I'm pretty sure of that. And he's not getting younger.
Povetkin Wilder
gets knocked out. Povetkin gets knocked out, and I'd say mid fight, 5 to 7 rounds. Because Povetkin will come out early. He will be fresh. He'll try to get inside really early. He will not have much success because Wilder said it himself. Whenever I'm fighting Povetkin, I'm looking at Klitschko fight as my blueprint. So at some point he will get tired and more slower, sloppier, that kind of thing. And then when he will catch Wilder's hand.
Povetkin versus Anthony Joshua.
See, what I've seen from Parker's fight with AJ is that there is no inside fighting. Forget about it. Just whenever you're just getting close to him, that's it. That's where the ref breaks you up. And that means he has no chance at all. He's either fighting at the distance with a taller guy with a longer reach, which is death for him, or he's trying to fight on the inside where he will have no success whatsoever. Unless a lucky punch, like he gets in really fast, within 1 second he lays one of those hooks, and AJ goes down absolutely flat, But I don't see that happening. It's just not possible within my head.
Okay. Did you hear the news in terms of the cruiserweights that Gasayev and Usyk are not going to be fighting on the date that was originally advertised?
I heard different news from Ukrainian media. So Usyk was complaining that he cannot start his sparring sessions because he doesn't know the fight date.
Okay.
He was saying that even though it's announced that they're supposed to fight on May 11th in Jeddah, what is it? Saudi Arabia, right?
Saudi Arabia, is it?
It is Saudi Arabia, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I was shocked beyond my imagination because Saudi Arabia is always out of any combat sports. You never hear of them.
What the hell are they doing fighting Saudi Arabia?
Well, that's the whole thing with the World Boxing Super Series. Is they're trying to get the best selling edge, and maybe some guys with deep pockets were able to buy it off. I can see it that way.
It's Saudi Arabia, though.
Yeah, it's like it's one of those places you never expect it to happen. Kind of like fighting in India. India is a big place and
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
but nobody fights there. Just nobody.
But you think the viewership they did get, though?
Viewership, yeah, definitely. Like, I think they don't have much of a time difference with Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 1 or 2 hours, but who cares, And cruiserweight is focused on Europe. Let's be honest. Nobody cares about cruiserweight in America, so let's not even care. I don't think they even have coverage in the US.
No, they don't.
Reading.
Not down here. I don't think there is.
So yeah, that's the thing. And Bob Arum actually gave Lomachenko his private jet and said, well, since it's happening on May 11th and your fight is happening on May 12th, you're going to fly over to Jeddah, watch his fight, pick him up, fly back, have your own fight, and then do whatever you want.
What?
Yeah, he gave his own jet, like private jet to him.
So he has that much confidence in Lomachenko then?
That much. And Jorge Linares, listen, I had way more confidence when he was fighting Rigondeaux.
Right.
Because of all the, because basically Rigondeaux was he had to go through all the barriers.
Yep.
Just to get on the same level of confidence as Lomachenko, where Lomachenko is going to another weight class, and it's the first fight he ever has at that weight division, and he's also fighting a guy who's moving a lot. So it's gonna be easy, but apparently Bob Arum has that much confidence in him. He's just saying whatever. It's I guess. For Bob Arum, it's really important for Lomachenko to stay with him.
You think he does a number in him then?
I would think Lomachenko goes the distance and wins by unanimous decision.
Okay.
But listen, if it's another quit from Linares,
something's up with that.
It's just too weird. And the whole thing is, you cannot claim it was set up with the Rigondeaux. Whatever you say, I believe that man saw something that he could exploit and win that fight.
Mm-hmm.
I will not believe that he was bought off just to get that much of shame upon himself. Because he was saying his right hand was hurt, and he never threw it. But he threw it 4 times a fight, So I'm just not buying of him getting hurt. It's just something that happened to him mentally. And I've translated the interview with Lomachenko, send it to you, where Lomachenko was saying that as soon as we got into a fight, I tried to sense him for a couple of rounds, and then I just told him that, well, at this point you're mine, and that's where I started absolutely dominating him. I just think Rigondeaux is not that kind of a guy who gets intimidated. Like there is something really weird happening whenever people get in the ring with Lomachenko. What it is, I don't know. Okay. I just don't know. It's too weird.
the cruiserweights, Gasayev, from Gasayev's side of things, a lot of people are now thinking that Gasayev stands a very good chance of beating Usyk because of the way Usyk's fighting now and getting hit so often.
And he does. If Usyk is fighting Gasayev the way he fought Briedis, I see him losing. I don't see him winning if he fights in the same style as he fought Briedis. He stays in for too long and gets too many unnecessary punches. With a guy like Gasayev, it's just don't do it. It's not worth it. You cannot knock this guy out, whatever amount of punches you will land on him. This is the guy that you need to avoid and show a textbook of boxing. What is interesting, the Briedis is fighting on his undercard.
Okay.
That fight. He will be the replacement in case something happens. Let's hope that nothing happens, but you know, Briedis is still there, and it's nice to see that that guy is not getting thrown like into, you know, being on the shelf for another year or so.
Mm-hmm.
I like to see him fight as soon as possible.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Who else in the cruiserweight division?
Yes, another Ukrainian cruiserweight is Kucher.
Of course, yes. Talk to me. What's going on with Kucher?
Kucher was fighting Kevin Lorina from South Africa.
Okay.
And he showed absolutely nothing that would bring him victory to get that IBO title. Absolutely nothing. No switch of gears, no change of plans. He came out in the way he came into the fight, he came out the same way.
Okay.
Like, this guy just didn't want to win, that kind of thing. He did have a long layoff, but I just don't see that to be a reason.
Did he win?
No, he lost to Kevin Lorina from South Africa.
So what happens to him now then?
No idea. He probably will get another shot in a year or something. Not at the title shot, just shot at something.
But that's not good. That's not good.
It's not good, but to be honest, the way I see that fight, he's more of a danger to his career than his opponents are.
Oh dear, that's not good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we move down to
No, not yet.
No, you got more cruiserweight.
Yeah, Kevin Lorina is moving to fight another cruiserweight from Ukraine.
Okay.
And it's Golovashenko.
Okay.
That guy is not really something interesting. But the whole thing is, remember when Usyk was fighting first with Brewer, then he was fighting with what's the other guy? Let me check it real quick. Oh dear. Fought Venter and Mueller. There was three South Africans that he fought almost in a row. I think there was one that came after another. So Kevin Lorina is now fighting another Ukrainian cruiserweight. That guy is not really known, but the place where they're fighting is even more interesting because their fighting is in Baku, Azerbaijan. So it's a neutral territory.
Yep.
Where not a lot of fighting happens.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, okay, maybe they'll entertain some kind of meeting that happens. Because remember when Triple G was supposed to fight Billy Joe Saunders in Astana, Kazakhstan.
Right.
And I think Triple G was hurt. So he didn't want to take that fight, so they delayed it and scheduled the fight with Canelo for September. So another one is Masternak, Mateusz Masternak?
Yes.
Fighting with Kalenga, Yuri Kalenga.
Okay.
I think they already faced each other. I think they're just having a rematch at this point.
That fight, title eliminator or something?
I'm not sure about title eliminator, but as to me, it seems it's like Masternak had some success so far.
Okay.
And looking back, he wants to have a rematch at Kalenga, who had a split decision in Monte Carlo
Okay.
in 2014.
Right.
And Glovatsky, the former WBO uh, champion,
Yes.
he called out Vlasov, Russian cruiserweight. He knocked out Russian, I think, gold medalist.
Oh, okay.
1 second. Was it Vlasov? Yeah, Chakiev. He knocked out Rakim Chakiev in 7th round and proceeded to um, stop Olavanji Duradola. If you remember that guy,
Yep.
a Nigerian guy.
Yes.
So Glovatsky was fighting recently. He got knocked down by a really, like, basically no name uh, Ukrainian cruiserweight Radchenko.
Okay.
But he kind of survived, weathered the storm. He got the win on unanimous decision. It was
Well,
a eight fight round.
okay. Well, that's a positive. I mean, you got knocked down, turned it around, got the win.
Yeah. Also, he was out of the ring for quite some time,
Okay.
so you can get it, and still it's cruiserweight. 200-pounders, they're really close to heavyweights. Let's just be honest, they're like really dry heavyweights, and they're like 2 or 3 inches shorter, but at the same time you get basically a full cruiserweight package.
Okay.
So that's how it goes. They are supposed to meet each other, Glovatsky and Vlasov. Let's just hope it happens, because I really want to see that matchup. And at that point, you will see whoever, if whoever wins, being that Usyk or Gassiev, um, I see them defending 1 or 2 times, both of them. Doesn't matter. I don't see them jumping to the heavyweight.
Okay.
And one of those guys might get a title shot, Glovatsky or Vlasov, and that would be interesting.
Okay.
Just interesting to see. Light heavyweight.
Right.
So we have Kovalev, who is supposed to fight Marcus Brown.
Okay. How's that fight go?
I see Kovalev winning. And the whole thing of it, I think when Gvozdyk was supposed to fight Marcus Brown, and they were supposed to have the first bet,
Yep.
Marcus Brown pulled out.
Okay.
Gvozdyk is way less experienced than Kovalev, and I don't think he carries that much power. I see him as the guy who's more of a guy whose punch you walk into rather than get just straight up. Because so Brown, I think Kovalev wins with Brown.
Okay.
Better be if he's supposed to fight Jürgen Bremer.
Oh, it's an interesting fight.
Yeah, that's interesting, because Jürgen Bremer got infection or whatever. He couldn't
Yep.
fight within 168. So now I've seen talks that Better BF will fight him.
Good fight.
Absolutely. What is with the Bevel, however, I do not know. Whoever is left, he just beat Barrera, who was like the best guy
Guess what we've
you
got?
can.
I can reveal. Well, I've got Biggle's number, so we can.
Oh, I've seen that. Okay, I've seen you talking to him personally.
Yeah, but we've got his number now, so we can talk to him more regular.
Awesome. Like, absolutely love it. So as for Bevel, yeah, as soon as any information arrives, or maybe you will get it before anyone else, which you often do.
Well, guess what? I'll tell you what you can do, because you can do some work, you get some work in. I'll give the number, and then you can call them, you can talk to them, because you obviously Ukrainian, you can understand what's being said. Is it Ukrainian or Russian?
Well, he is okay. This is the funny part.
Okay.
It's post-Soviet Union, so whatever country you're born in doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
He's born in Kyrgyzstan.
Okay.
I don't speak Kyrgyzstani, okay? But he was raised in Russia, I believe. And he's from a mixed family of Moldovan man and Korean woman.
Oh yeah. Wow.
So, you know what? But he speaks Russian. I can cover that much, you know?
So you can understand the Russian then?
Oh, I can understand, I can speak, I can write, whatever you want.
Okay.
Yeah, if you need my help, feel free to contact me. We'll arrange it. Not a problem.
Great. Great. Fair enough. I'm keep talking. I've just sent a message over to Mr. Sanchez. He said ring him in 2 hours' time. Do you remember when I rang him?
2 times time.
He says 11:42 is the last time he looked at the thing. I thought I rang him at 11:42.
11:42 is
So now
UK time. You're messing with my head at this point.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Light heavyweight. Another one is Gvozdyk. He won his interim title.
Okay.
WBC interim title.
Yep.
The guy Mehdi Amar wasn't anything interesting because he basically got blown out of the ring in 4 rounds by Najib Mohammadi.
Okay.
The same guy who lost to Gvozdyk in 2 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
He was supposed to go down really easy, really fast. And that didn't happen. They had 12-round fight. Okay. Now, you can argue that maybe Gvozdyk is just preparing for a championship fight because whoever he faces, Adonis Stevenson or Badger Jack, he shouldn't rely on just good punch that will send them into, dreamland.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, some people have argued that stylistically, this guy was just not coming forward. He was the guy who Gvozdyk needed to bring it towards. And Gvozdyk was just not doing it. So he was just, kind of boxing, winning some points, but not really going into it just to get him out of there.
I don't rate him. I have to, I don't rate him at all. He's terrible.
I would agree.
I would agree. He's terrible. He's terrible.
You're talking about Mehdi Amar or?
He's terrible. I don't think much of him at all. He's like one of those guys that who he reminds me of. He reminds me of the guy who broke his leg and fought. He fell down. He was supposed he broke his knee or broke his leg, but he was able to bring back to the what's his name, the heavyweight.
Oh my god!
And Malik Scott beat him, but he got the decision. And Steve Cunningham beat him, but he got the decision as well.
I forgot it. Let me take a quick walk. I know who you're talking about. It's just
that's who he reminds me of.
Glaskov.
Glaskov, yeah, he reminds me of Glaskov.
I would disagree.
Why?
If you're comparing Gvozdyk to Glaskov.
Why?
Because he's whenever they would box in between Gvozdyk and Shabransky,
okay.
Gvozdyk would always win because that's why Gvozdyk went to Olympic team.
Yeah.
And he won the bronze medalist. There was a huge controversy. Many people said that he should have won that fight and proceeded to fight for the gold medal. I just think that Gvozdyk is kind of limited, and that flash knockdown by Karpency in the first or second round, it's just
garbage. Absolutely. I think he is. When you've got other guys who've done a really good job, Ukrainian fighters have done very well. Then he's come along, and he's just like, okay, you know how you have you got Manchester United, you got Man City, you got Liverpool, and you start going down the league. You know, they all make up the Premiership, but he's like the lower end of the scale. That's why I see Gorski at the moment. I don't rate him. Man. Just don't.
At the moment, I would agree. The last fight he had, it's diminished him to the bottom.
I can't connect with him.
I would say it's just really he has changed his trainer. He was training under Robert Garcia, and now he changed. Whoever that guy is, he was like a protege to Robert Garcia, because the camp that they had got bought off by Igis Plimas. Remember the whole thing with them?
Yes.
So he trains in that gym, and he's training under another less experienced trainer.
Okay.
That might be the case, but at the same time, if he goes in the championship fight with that trainer, however good you are, you gotta have a second really hard thinking head in that corner.
Okay.
And I'm worried about him the most of Ukrainian Olympic team that is now trying to climb up to the stars through rankings and to the championship.
He ain't climbing nowhere. He's sliding right down. Battle Jack can do me a favor and get him out of the division.
Whatever happens, happens. Listen.
Battle Jack's gonna hurt that boy, I'm telling you. And he's gonna hurt Adonis Stevenson as well.
All right. I actually looking forward to that fight, because Adonis Stevenson, let's be honest, how long has he been out of the ring?
The last time he fought was against
a year since he fought Fonfara, and Fonfara was a shit fight that lasted 2 rounds and nobody asked for. So that was, let's be honest, he could have stayed not fighting for that time, because that Fonfara fight didn't bring him anything. So he's fighting Badu Jack. He, quite frankly, the chances of him getting his ass handed to him is quite high. Now at 68, I don't think there's anything interesting in 68 in Eastern Europe. I think the only one is the middleweight, because now that Triple G doesn't have a fight against Canelo, we have that somebody has to replace him. People were saying about O'Sullivan.
I hope not.
Oh, it seems like the most likely one.
Well, we'll talk to Abel Sanchez. I've just heard from Abel Sanchez, and he says, call him in an hour.
Okay. Or people were saying all kinds of things, Jacobs. Like Andrade. Jacobs?
He ain't gonna fight Andrade. Forget that.
I don't see him fighting Jacobs as well.
No,
I don't think Jacobs will take that fight, actually.
No, I don't think so either.
So it probably will be a half-assed fight just for him.
I heard a rumor that he might fight this WBO champion, a super middleweight.
Gilberto Ramirez?
Yes.
Yeah, but at 168. Not at 160, though. So if he's fighting Gilberto Ramirez, and Bob Arum posted it, said that we accepted his challenge.
Yeah.
It's just that we are waiting for him at 168.
What about Charlo? They're definitely going to take that.
No, I don't think it's really happening within top 5 names at all.
I think it'll be a Spike O'Sullivan fight. I think it'll be bang him up, full 5 rounds, and Gia get him out of there.
Yeah.
And I like Spike, but
yeah, they were talking about Derevyanchenko. I don't see that happening.
No, it's not happening.
No. So at this point, it's
Martin Murray too.
Martin
Murray rematch.
Yeah, that's an important one to have. Well, I've heard about Cesar Chavez Jr.
Oh,
having a rematch with Canelo.
No.
You're just being a hater.
Yeah, and Gio just beat on him. Be like a walking punching bag.
Oh boy. But I heard it. You know, people were talking all kinds of nonsense, but I just don't see any of that happening.
Yeah, if I were G, if I were in his position, he's got very few fights left. What the hell are you fighting Spike O'Sullivan for? That's another training camp wasted.
I don't know.
He should be trying to fight either Saunders for the WBO title or move up and fight the winner of the Super. If I were him, two fights I'd have: Saunders in September, or Saunders next, and then fight the winner of the Super Six in
I
the
agree.
division. Two fights.
And the funniest part is that what Colin Smith won a fight against technically nobody. So whoever wins the Super Six will have a lot of name, but not a lot of danger behind him.
Right.
You know, because it's like the Super Six was there,
Yeah.
but it as good as it wasn't there. So
Versus GGG versus or even the GGG versus the winner of DeGale versus Truex.
why not? But you think the Gale can pull it off? I would say that it's GGG versus Truex.
I don't think so. I think Truex does it again. I think he stops DeGale this time.
Yeah, I just see it happening that way.
DeGale keeps still talking up rubbish about how Truex is a gatekeeper and all this garbage. Okay.
Keep talking.
I don't see it somehow. I see Truex doing the business again on him.
As per welterweight, nothing really from Eastern Europe. I would say we can go to super lightweight.
Yeah.
Because something really interesting happened where Riggy's Progress won against Indongo. And that was the fight supposed to happen against Postal.
Yes.
Now, probably Postal is still in the line because he was just injured. He didn't pull out or anything.
Okay.
I just... I would say Postal, being inactive for so long, injury, that kind of thing, Progress will just deliver it so badly to him.
Yeah. Probably.
It's not gonna look good.
No.
Lipinets is trying to climb up the rankings, but it's neither here nor there. They might try to get in Donko for Lipinets.
Let me throw something at you. What do you make of the story that the potential of Klitschko making a comeback?
Don't believe it.
He's itching to come back.
Don't believe it.
What about if it came out of a trainer's mouth?
Which trainer? Okay. If Jonathan Banks comes out of it, even if he comes back, I'm out. I'm gonna have a pleasant walk outside.
What about okay? What would happen? Let's say if Klitschko came back and he said, "You know what? I'm gonna have Bashir as my head trainer."
I would say have half a year of closed camp. Have them a tune-up fight, not against somebody unknown, but take a Dillian Whyte, for example. See how it goes. Goes really well, you can try to jump into championship one. If it goes a little bit roughly, have another half a year off.
Char is the number one. Char is the WBA champion. Wilder versus Klitschko.
Wilder versus Klitschko at this point. Poor Klitschko. Like, if I see some development after him coming back with one fight, and I see that he's doing a lot of smart things, I will say that okay, let's debate about it. At this point, we just see that whenever he comes back, he brings the whatever baggage of old problems with him. And even though he might do some really, smart stuff in the early part of the fight, then it accumulates whatever nonsense gets into his head. He's just not gonna come out of the second half of the fight with Wilder at this point. No. Vitaly, however, it's interesting because one thing that he said is I will only come back for AJ, because apparently they had quite some beef together. And another one he cannot, because he's been out of the ring for 6 years. He's not in the rankings.
It's Lewis.
Lewis what?
Lennox Lewis.
What Lewis?
Oh, yeah, that's the other fight he said he'd come back for, Lennox Lewis.
Oh, Lennox Lewis is not having none of it.
Yeah.
Why would Lennox Lewis be interested in fighting after so many years?
Yeah.
Proving what? Against who?
So he's not interested. But you think Vitaly would still come back?
He would come back, and the only path that I would see is he's still emeritus champion of WBC. So he would either come back through Wilder and then AJ, or not come back at all.
Vitaly Klitschko versus Deontay Wilder.
Should keep his chin on check, because the way he got starched in Corey Sanders, and that was Vitaly Klitschko's prime, was dangerous.
Vladimir Klitschko, you're talking?
No, I'm talking about Vitaly. Vitaly got starched in round 4 against Corey Sanders. Don't remember that?
No.
Oh yeah, he was weathering that storm. Corey Sanders delivered it.
Are you talking? I know the brother got knocked out, but I know Vitaly came back.
Corey Sanders fought against Vladimir.
Yeah,
he got knocked out to Vladimir.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing with brothers. Whenever one loses, the other one gets a rematch against the winner.
Yeah.
So Vladimir, being the younger one, he got knocked out by Corey Sanders.
Yes.
I think in 4 rounds or something like that.
Yeah.
And Vitaly, being the older brother, big bad brother, he had to catch it up. So he went in with Corey Sanders. And Corey Sanders came close to stopping him. He starched him really badly. It's an interesting fight.
I was talking about it tonight, wasn't I? I did say.
Yeah, you were.
Fight.
And of course, Vitaly weathered it. He boxed really well, and in the end of that fight, Corey Sanders said, "I don't understand it. My fist hurt, but he's still standing. I was delivering as much as I could." But that's just something phenomenal about Vitaly. He would. The only thing he would get out of there is something bad happening to his body, like why Vladimir Klitschko was the Olympian champion while Vitaly was not.
Yeah.
Vitaly got his knee busted, and he was taking some medication for his knee.
Yeah.
And apparently that medication was steroid based. So when he didn't know, he just, I'm taking some pills. So he tests it, coming in, not knowing anything, and he got banned. So now Vladimir needs to put on some weight to jump into the heavyweight and go to the Olympics as a heavyweight instead of a cruiserweight.
Wow.
Yeah, and he wins a gold medal. So that kind of, puts an extra glory on him. And the thing about Vladimir is that he always get more praise, even though the elder one, the Vitaly Klitschko was the actual guy who everyone was scared of.
Absolutely.
So it's an interesting story if you go through it, but
this guy Hrgovic.
Oh, wait. Which weight is it?
Heavyweight.
No, I don't know anyone heavyweight that name.
Philip Hergovich. I saw him fight the other day. He looked pretty good. He looked quite tasty. Heavyweight boxer.
No, I don't know that.
Hergovich, yeah. It's a good fight.
Which card was that?
No, I don't know. Yeah, he fought. I think he fought. Yeah, he fought. What's his name? Not Tom Dallas. Little.
Tom Little?
Tom Little. He fought with Tom Little.
Hmm.
And he beat.
No, I don't know him.
He beat Tom Little. He fought on the same night. Usyk fought Breeders, I think.
Oh, same night. No, don't know that.
Yeah, he fought in the Super 6, Super 8.
Okay, can you give me 2 minutes?
Okay, he was on the undercard fight.
Okay, give me 2 minutes. I need to leave, and I'll be right back. Sorry.
Okay. No worries. The beauty of live TV. So we're just talking there. We're gonna wait until YouTube comes back, and then I'll close this off, and then I'll be back for Abel Sanchez. We were talking Abel 2 o'clock in the morning. We'll be 3 o'clock in the morning. I'll be talking to Abel Sanchez. I'll charge my phone up so we don't cut out. So what I've thought of the conversation so far between what Eugene's had to say about Eastern European boxing. Yeah, Tom Little and Sean Turner. Yeah, he beat them both. Yeah, and Sean Hunter the people had a lot of respect for Sean. They thought he was going to go places. Sean Turner. He's a tough geezer, Sean Turner. Indeed, he is. Can't believe we're still going this long. How long has this show been so far, people? Anyone know how long we've been going? Probably one of my longest shows, this. It's only meant to be half an hour we're doing the show for. So what I'm going to do is come back afterwards and get set up, charge my phone. So at 3 a.m., which is in about 50 minutes, I'll come back and we're going to do the live interview of Abel's. Yeah, 2 hours. Yeah, we'll come back in 50 minutes if you're still up. I will do exclusive interview with Abel Sanchez because you asked for it. We're going to do it. We're just waiting till he gets back if he gets back.
All right, I'm back.
Yeah, I'll just tell everyone what I'm going to do, Eugene, is close this off in a minute, get my phone charged, and then be back at 3 o'clock. Do you want to do the interview of Abel with me?
Sure, why not?
At 3 a.m.
The other one I was really interested. He had success with France. In France, and
Tony Yoka.
I don't know about that guy. He had Arsene Gamilian, Armenian fighter. He had like 3 or 4 fighters fighting on the same card. So, it was quite stressful for him. And that Arsene Gamilian, I'm pretty sure he won cruiserweight WBA regular title.
Okay, any good?
He's okay. Like it's really interesting where he's in the mix so far because Usyk and Gassiev being 2 fighters that are having some things figured out in between them. It would be really interesting to see the rest of the cruiserweight having traction. For example, that Gamilian trying to fight like Kevin Marino or something like that.
Okay.
It would be interesting. So
Right.
I would have some questions prepared for Abel.
Okay.
Yeah, and the quick rundown, because we don't have much time.
Okay.
For obviously Lomachenko versus Linares, that one is must see.
Okay.
But Berinchik, remember you had the silver medalist on your channel with Usyk,
Yes.
Denis Berinchik?
Yes. What's going on with him?
He's fighting at 135 and he's now ranked number 12 at WBO.
Okay.
He's aiming at Beltran, the Mexican guy.
Yeah. Who
What he said,
been on our channel as well?
yep. What he said, however, is very interesting. He says that if Lomachenko knocks out Beltran, I will not see my chance against Beltran. I will not have my chance of being a champion. But he stated that knocks out like really persistent. Like it wasn't like if he's just scoring some points or whatever. So I'm not sure if that fight is not like really devastating.
Okay.
That maybe Lomachenko will vacate the WBO and they will have it in between themselves.
Possibility.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna be waiting for Abel.
Okay.
Yeah. Text me.
I'll send
Whatever.
you. So, okay. Do you want to say goodbye to your fans before you disappear?
Yeah. I appreciate everyone who is in the room. Love sharing information with you, and I love that you're interested in it. It really is a good thing that people can learn about fighters from Eastern Europe because there's not much information, slipping through the cracks. Appreciate you coming to the show and staying with us. Love you all. Thank you.
Also, Icarus. You got to sell Icarus. You sold it to me. Sell it to them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Icarus is first of all, it won the Academy Award. Okay, it got the Oscars of the documentary films. It's that good, and it's about this Russian state-sponsored doping program where they were choosing their athletes to the point of being absolute beasts. And many people can argue that everyone is juicing, but you need to see that to understand the depths of how much it can go.
We
You
need to do a show separately, just talking about Icarus.
Absolutely. It's a movie I love, and I've rewatched at least 3 times. It's absolutely wonderful.
So check it out. Make sure you guys and girls watching this check out Icarus. It's currently available on Netflix. I think that's it. Any final words, Eugene?
No, just thank you everyone, and see you later.
We'll see you in about 40 to 45 minutes back here on BWTM. Give me some time to charge my phone, and we'll have Abel Sanchez, trainer of Gennady Golovkin, Gassiev, and whoever else on the channel back here at 3 a.m. See you then.